All-Pro and the leader of the Philadelphia Flyers, Eric Lindros. But wait a minute. Yesterday, Darius Kasparaitis caught Lindros with his head down and decked him. A second-degree concussion. For Pittsburgh, that hit fired up their team. Kasparaitis' leadership resulted in not only a loss of Philadelphia's leader, but a loss of the lead and a loss of the game. These teams meet again tonight. Revenge? ESPN's National Hockey Night welcomes you to Philadelphia. This is our 1,000th broadcast of a National Hockey League game on ESPN and ESPN2. We welcome you to our celebration. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Brian Ingram. Hello, everybody. Delighted to have you with us for game 1,000. And interesting enough, it should be. Yesterday, these teams played back-to-back games, made more interesting by the hit.
Well, Gary, it was a great hockey game. I mean, that is what is forgotten about yesterday. But one incident overshadowed the outcome of the game and overshadowed all the play, and it was the hit that Darius Kasparaitis leveled on Eric Lindros. It not only knocked the big man out, knocked him out of the game, second-degree concussion, no timetable set for his return. And while Eric Lindros was heading to the hospital during the game, what was forgotten was that the Pittsburgh Penguins came back twice from 2-goal deficits and proved to me once again they're a power in the NHL.
Bill, it is an ongoing story and a problem for Philadelphia as their general manager, Bob Clarke, has not been happy with the way Philadelphia has responded to the other teams coming on and taking out their best players. This is what he has had to say. Well, Jaromir Jagr's the best player on Pittsburgh, so...
Gosh, you know, when you talk to Wayne Cashman, I talked to him before the game, he said, we have to win the hockey game first. They've got a slot in their lineup. If they wanted to go after Jagr or really inflict some punishment, you'd think they would dress Dan Kordic. Not so. They've called up Craig Garvey. He's a scorer, not a fighter, so there might be a difference between Wayne Cashman and Bobby Clarke, but I know one thing. The fans here want frontier justice. I'm not sure they're going to get it.
We'll see whether or not that happens. And another interesting aspect of this game, Brian Ingram.
The Pittsburgh Penguins gained an awful lot from the Olympics in Nagano. 7 of their players won medals, including 4 gold medals on the Czechoslovakian team. The Czech team is a lot like the Pittsburgh team. They used to be a real loose team on and off the ice. They tightened up defensively and won the gold. Pittsburgh used to be a real loose team as well. Kevin Constantine came in and said, no, guys, we got to play defense. But he had to sell that to Jagr. Kevin Constantine has to be smiling like a Cheshire cat now after what he saw in Nagano. Gary?
And he is indeed. What a year they are having, and they'd love to have back-to-back wins against Philadelphia. Darius Kasparaitis, the man who is marked for this game, he does have a line of pickles out called the Kasparaitis Crunchers. Philadelphia tonight would like to make this man exactly what he's named his product.
It's finally here, the Hamilton Used Car Superstore.
Come on in. Our used car superstore is so unique, you'll never buy a used vehicle the same way again.
Shop in the warm comfort of the Used Car Superstore's new indoor lot for super buys like this. A 96 Geo Tracker 9340, a 95 Ford Taurus 7863.
You just can't go wrong.
Nobody makes better deals and gives you more value than the Hamilton Used Car Superstore.
Let the good deals roll.
Hello, this is Bill for Paul Spady's Best Buys. These vehicles have the highest approval rating of any vehicles I've ever seen. These are late model, low mile, one-owner vehicles and at wholesale prices. Also, all of their vehicles are provided with a full warranty at no cost to their customers. Don't buy anywhere else until you see the boys at Paul Spady's Best Buys, downtown Hastings.
Welcome back to NHL hockey, the coolest game on earth.
Have you seen a better performance? Skate! Joe Sakic! Stop! A magnificent goal! What a play! Yes!
What a show.
ESPN's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by MasterCard. MasterCard, the official card of the NHL. By DiGiorno Rising Crust Pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. And by Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, the official beer sponsor of the NHL.
Linda Cohn along with Barry Melrose in the National Hockey Night studios. I know the Flyers said they weren't going to seek revenge, but come on, isn't Darius Kasparaitis and Jaromir Jagr, shouldn't they keep their head up all night?
The bottom line is that was a clean hit. It was a great hit by Kasparaitis. He does it all the time. But the Philadelphia Flyers must start sending messages that clean or not clean, you cannot go after Lindros, you cannot go after Leclerc and not have repercussions. And you don't go after Rich Pilon, you don't go after Kasparaitis, you go after Jagr and you go after Ziggy Palffy. Bobby Clarke was right in what he said, and the Flyers must start playing that way, become harder to play against.
And we found out Lindros will be out 10 to 14 days because of that concussion. By the way, 2 other games going on tonight. Keith Kachucki's got a groin injury, so he's missing this big game against the Dallas Stars, Barry.
Coyotes got to start winning. They've been awful. The Stars haven't won in 3 games, so they're going to be very, very angry tonight.
I know there's college hoop fever in Carolina, but wait a minute. The Hurricanes are just 5 points back of the 8th and final playoff spot. Now let's get to Gary and Bill in the opening phase.
Linda, Barry, thanks very much, and welcome to our 1000th National Hockey League game on the combined mothership ESPN and on the Deuce. And it ought to be a humdinger here tonight. We'll see right from the get-go how these teams play it and whether or not Philadelphia is in a retaliatory mood here tonight. We're underway here on National Hockey Night. Fans are really revved up for this game.
Boy, you hear them boo already. Kasparaitis touched the puck, and this place just porous with boos.
Ninema put a hit on the far side. Leclerc cleared it back out to center. Pittsburgh back in their own end here. Brad Warenka will be playing on D here in the first pairing. Drops it back to the 5 side. Kasparaitis right out. Hit on the far side early on. Chris Joseph took that shot. Ninema's had 2 good hits early. Leclerc from Philadelphia shoots it out. Kasparaitis again back. Interesting tonight. Kasparaitis was the first player on the ice for the warm-up. Usually the goaltender comes out first. Not tonight.
If anybody was trying to send a message before this game, it wasn't the Flyers, it was the Penguins.
They're going to shoot somebody. His teammate said, "Let it be you." We're with you so long as you can still walk after you get out there. Cleared back out to center and chased back by Kevin Hatcher. Here's Jaromir Jagr, the league's leading scorer. Dumps that one back. He and Peter Forsberg tied in points. Jagr, though, has got more goals. Platt dumps it in. Slager put the hit on from behind. Played back by Kevin Hatcher again. Hatcher tied for 8th among D as far as D scoring are concerned. A lot of players out. First penalty coming up. Nick Magoo's got the arm up against the Flyers. It'll roll in on net. Hextall pushes it away, and there's the whistle. Nick Magoo, our referee, is mic'd tonight for our 1000th NHL game. So on and off tonight, we'll hear Mick Magoo and the activities going on down below. The Saskatchewan native who came into the league back in '89, and there's Kasparaitis.
You know, there's always room for locker room humor. It's kind of like foxhole humor. Darius Kasparaitis had a thing going all year with the strength and conditioning coach of the Penguins, a man named John Welde. And Kasparaitis, but every second day, says to Welde, there's John Welde, you know what, John, you wish you were me for one day, don't you? Playing in the NHL, making good money, you wish you were me for one day. Well, yesterday after the game, John Welde went to Darius Kasparaitis and said, you know how you're always telling me I want to be you for one day? Not tomorrow.
And this is tomorrow.
This is tomorrow.
Here's the first power play of the game. Forbes picked up the interference call at 1:17 in Pittsburgh. They're on the power play. First advantage of the game. Jaromir Jagr is out there. Jagr, 13 power play goals have been picked up by Stu Barnes for Pittsburgh. He leads them in that department. Dump back on the far side, Hatcher. Power play opportunity. The Pittsburgh Penguins this season, their power play has gone 2 for 11 against Philadelphia. Short-handed. Brings it in. His shot deflected to the side. Kenny Reggett. Reggett is in net for Pittsburgh tonight. And at the other end, Ron Hextall for Philadelphia. As the newly acquired Sean Burke, the Philadelphia netminder who made his first start for the Flyers yesterday in Pittsburgh, had to come up with back spasms late in the game. Brindamore tipped it away short-handed. Brindamore tight Platt in the middle with it. Brindamore is tied up behind the net by Jagr. Platt picks it up. Platt looking to dump, comes back to the near side, and the Penguins will have it. They've still got 1:06 left on the advantage. Platt at center knocked it away. Philadelphia penalty killers are ranked 7th overall in the National Hockey League. Pittsburgh power play tied for 7th.
And the Flyers penalty killers are always dangerous when Rod Brindamore is on the ice. If that puck didn't roll off the backhand side of his stick, he had a good scoring chance on Kenny Reggett, but the Penguins dodged a bullet there.
47 left on this power play. The Pens will dump it into the near side. Martin Straka giving chase, could not get to it. Cleared back it up in the zone by Luke Richardson. They'll regroup Wolf at center. The Pens on the attack. There is Straka. Straka 199 NHL points coming into tonight's game. Yuri Slager knocks that one back deeper into the zone. Morozov came back to get it. Took a pretty high stick right there by Mike Sillinger.
You bet. And you hear the boos when Morozov touches the puck. He was the guy that was smiling and laughing and congratulating Darius Kasparaitis after Lindros got hit.
Point shot deflected wide of the net. Morozov's shot was deflected and wide. Philadelphia clears it out. There are good hits going on. One just put on at the other end of the ice by Chris Ferraro of Pittsburgh. Slager chases. 4 seconds left on the Pittsburgh power play. Banging the stick, Kenny Reggett. Telling his teammates on the ice it's over. Gratton blocked it, couldn't get it. Philadelphia's killed off the first penalty. John Leclair, Kasparaitis, Leclair do battle. Puck sitting there, rolled in, knocked away by Reggett, but not out. From the slot, Zuber shot it wide. Rebound off Gratton's leg. Gratton in behind the net. Yuri Slager on him. Back to Leclair. Leclair gets held, trying to turn. Penalty coming. Leclair was held. Leclair drops it. Point shot deflected up in the air, and there's the whistle. And there's Kasparaitis. Here we go.
Looky here now. You know, I'm not so. This is not about retaliation for yesterday. Kasparaitis was in the take no prisoners mode on this whole shift. I mean, he's telling the world, come on, guys. You can all come on, and I'll try and take you all on. It could be a long night for Darius Kasparaitis, but I guarantee you, this kid ain't backing down from anybody.
There is the coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, Wayne Cashman, who wants his team to respond to what happened to Eric Lindros yesterday. Now we got a fight out in front. Yuri Slager and Chris Gratton of Philadelphia.
Boy, let's see how this goes. Yuri Slager, Czechoslovakian player, took boxing lessons this summer. But I'll tell you what, when you're in the trenches like this, grab it on. Slager's a bull, real strong. He went in tight there and tried to take Chris Gratton down because he's so strong. And Wayne Cashman said, if the opportunity presents itself, our guys are ready. Now, I took that as meaning they weren't going to go out of their way to go after anybody, but obviously they're prepped and primed and ready to do what they think they got to do.
This is the Core States Center. Gratton looking over at Kasparaitis. You may have been able to read his lips, said, "You're next." Right now, the two of them will sit in the sin bin.
Well, this is how it started. Kasparaitis had lost his stick. He grabbed the puck for the whistle. He was getting the penalty anyway, and then it started.
2 magazines, 1 double espresso, $12. Khaki pants, $45. Work boots, $85. Realizing you're unzipped before anyone else does? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted all over. Even coffee bars.
Never seen a minivan take that road.
I wouldn't take that road in the minivan.
They say it has traction control. I heard it can run over a nail, not get a flat. A minivan can do that?
Maybe it's not really a minivan.
Life is more exciting in Montana by Pontiac.
This is the Core State Center. You'd think it was the Spectrum the way this game has started. A whole new license plate went up today. Kasparaitis must pay. Well, Chris Gratton has indicated if he gets the opportunity, he will pay.
Tried to send a message on the way by, but that's how people have always tried to back Darius Kasparaitis off. They've tried to threaten him, and this is what Chris Gratton, look at this. You're next. You are next.
Gratton goes out of there with the 5 each for fighting a penalty. And Slager also a 10-minute misconduct on Gratton. So Mick Magoo has decided he's going to get these guys out of here who ended up in the melee. Both Slager and Gratton also pick up the 10-minute misconduct. Kasparaitis picked up a 2 for holding, so the power play goes to Philadelphia. Just deflected wide to the point down in Enema. Power play underway. Paul Coffey shot. Reggett's got it in the glove. Hit the post. Turn up and out of the zone. Chris Taylor cleared it out. There was no whistle. John Leclair has to take his stick away from Kenny Reggett. Reggett picked up Leclair's stick and waited for Leclair to come get it and gave it a little tug. Philadelphia's first power play opportunity of the game, swept out of the zone by Neil Wilkins.
That was Rod Brindamore that hit the post. John Leclair looks like he's ready to wade into the trenches. I mean, with all of his 225 pounds right in front of Kenny Reggett, and the screen was used. Brindamore hit the post.
There's Brindamore dropping. Shot, score!
Well, Wayne Cashman had to move somebody up to the power play unit in the hole that was left when Eric Lindros was KO'd by Kasparaitis yesterday. Who did he move up? Mike Sillinger. And what an addition he has been to the Flyers. Virtually with Rod Brind'Amour, the two sole bright spots for this team over the last 12 games. Mike Sillinger let the puck rip. I mean, this is a guy that's had trouble scoring in the NHL, was a prolific scorer in junior hockey, and finally, in his 4th NHL team, it looks like Mike Sillinger may now be finding the touch, baby.
He has 4 goals and 2 assists in 5 games with Philadelphia since joining them in the trade from Vancouver. He now has 14 goals on the season. He is red hot, 2 power play goals on the year. And for Philadelphia, that is their first power play at home in the last 18 chances. They had an 0 for 17 on the power play going here on their home ice. They pick it up and they take a 1-0 lead as Sillinger got it. Yager at center tipped off the play. Back. Philadelphia had a short-handed lost it. Here comes Ronnie Francis. Francis with Yager on the right. Francis looking. Francis spinning. Looking back to the middle. Couldn't find anybody. Flat able to run it out. Otto had it, lost it. Big pin up on the far side boards by Joe Otto on Yager. They separate. Otto held on a little extra but did not get a penalty on it. Terrian dumps it in.
Boy, Gary, it looks like the Flyers are listening to their general manager because Jaromir Jagr had a couple of sticks to get up high on him. The first one, Eric Desjardins. That's one of the matchups. Desjardins and Terrian against Jagr.
Francis rips it in. Ron Hextall will hold it upside of the net. First goal of the game at 4:31. Sillinger from Brind'Amour and Klatt on the power play has given the Flyers the 1-0 lead. Flyers have 3 shots. Pittsburgh does not yet have a shot on goal. Far side, Sean Podine, 25 of Philadelphia. On the corner, had it, lost it, held it long enough for Brind'Amour to hold it in. Back to Samuelson. Samuelson dumps it in around the net. Breggett was holding up his man in front. Big hit in behind the net now. Boy, there are some shots going on in this game. Breggett tipped it away. Couldn't get a stick on it. Puck roll to the top, and it's out of there. Pittsburgh is still looking for a shot. May have gotten right there as they rifle it in from center. Johansson. That's as close as they've been. Held in again. Shot there. That save made again by Hextall. Taken back in behind the net. Brown tried to drop it off near side to Chris Ferraro. Couldn't get it. Shot deflected in behind the net. Samuelson. Ferraro on him. Ferraro tied him up. Took him down. Brown the puck. Centered out in front. Turn around. Robert Lang. Lang couldn't get a shot. Flyers back the other way. Mike Sillinger had the goal. Sillinger waiting. Flyers change it up on the fly. Dump back to the point. Zubra's shot. That'll be deflected wide. Sillinger at Kasparaitis. Sillinger knew who it was. The 2-11s colliding. And they're still over there. Sillinger holds it in. Sillinger dumps it back in behind the net. Breggett back to play it. Getting hit behind the plate. Kasparaitis. Here they go. Sticks, arms, Forbes, and Kasparaitis.
Check this out. Forbes took a couple of shots from Kasparaitis. Play's going on at the other end. Play was still going on, and Colin Forbes and Darius Kasparaitis.
And Hextall just shot the puck back, trying to hit the guys in the fight. Ron Hextall had the puck at the other end and tried to shoot it up and hit Kasparaitis. Forbes was the man for Philadelphia, tangled up with him, and Bobby Clark's got to be thinking, hey, this is more like the team I've been calling for.
Gary, he's not showing any emotion, but you know his heart is beating about 100 miles an hour. Colin Forbes followed up the Sillinger hit on Kasparaitis with a clean hit but a hard hit on the boards. I mean, nobody is skating by the man with a bullseye on him tonight. That is Darius Kasparaitis. When they came off the boards is when they started exchanging blows, and finally Forbes said, I've had enough. I'm going to go for it. Well, we mentioned that the Flyers may be going with the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth theory, okay? After Desjardins took Jagr up high, this was Trent Klatt taking him up high. Before that, Desjardins had cross-checked him up high. And the only problem with this plan of attack is, if Mick Magoo wants to call it tight, Flyers are going to be in the penalty box all night. So, do you send the message at the expense of 2 points? We'll see. Here's how the fight started. Forbes on Kasparaitis. Watch Kasparaitis come off. Whack. Across the face. Punch back. Punch back. Kasparaitis going to come back again. Wham. 2 of them. And then Forbes said, okay, why I oughta? I've had enough.
They each get 2 for roughing and 5 for fighting. Interesting. Ron Hextall, when he let that puck go at the other end, ended up shooting it onto the Pittsburgh bench. He looked down ice, trying to get it into the guys who were fighting. There were so many people between he and the fight. He ripped it to the Pittsburgh bench. And I mean, I was watching him. It was wholly intentional. He just let it fly.
He can rip it like nobody else that plays goal in the NHL too. And he
picked somebody off.
He can pretty well lift it in the air all the way from one end to the other. So he wouldn't have any trouble clearing the bench. I didn't see where it went.
It went right over on the bench. He tried to shoot it up the other way, and he didn't have any room. Hatcher's got it. We end up with matching penalties there, so nobody gets an advantage on this. Philadelphia leading it 1-0 here, and it's a root-bang affair, as we thought it might be. Shot back in wide by Sean Podine. Blasted up in the air, but a Brendan Moore's head. Podine behind the net. Breggett reached up, though, and caught it, and the net will come off. The Pegs, we've got a break. National Hockey Night, 1-0 Flyers up.
Don't worry. I won't be long.
Oh, okay.
Psst. Hey, buddy. Over here in petites.
Oh. Have a Bud Light. This is awesome.
Yeah, we love shopping.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Touchdown!
My ancestor dreamt of winning the Highlands Open, but his golf wasn't up to par. So he designed a wider golf club for better control of his drives. Truly, wider is better.
Improve your drive with the Wide Track Grand Prix Sports Sedan. Its unique Wide Track design sets the wheels wider for better control on any course.
My family crest still bears the proverb, Nashleha Nasher.
Wider is better. The Wide Track Grand Prix by Pontiac.
MasterCard presents the NHL Cutting Edge Play of the Week.
Here's Bertuzzi through center with the puck. Moves it over the blue line. Bertuzzi scores! Oh, my! What a brilliant goal by Todd Bertuzzi. Hey, this is big time.
MasterCard, official card of the NHL. Proud sponsor of the Cutting Edge Play of the Year.
Jerry Thorne, Bill Clement, Brian England. Great to have you with us here at National Hockey Night. Our 1000th game, a commemorative puck here. It's available to a lot of our supporters here in Philadelphia tonight. A little affair before the game. Dump back out. Ronnie Francis has got it. Francis having yet another great season for this team with 20 goals, 50 assists, and 70 points. Jaromir Jagr brings it in. Jagr shutting it down 5-on-5. Here we go along the line. Linesman moving in. Terrian went after Jagr. That brought Ron Francis and Hatcher over. Kevin Hatcher stepped in to protect him. We're going to have some penalties. 48 PIMs so far in less than 8 minutes played in the first period.
You know that this thing is still a keg of dynamite ready to explode when you got 10 guys on the ice like Ronnie Francis, Stu Barnes, Jaromir Jagr, Frederick Olofsson. You got Sean Podine, Rod Brindamore, Trent Klatt. These guys aren't supposed to be doing this. And yet they're grabbing at one another and collecting like they got Velcro all over their bodies and getting ready to duke it out, even the guys that don't usually end up in those friction situations.
Our Bud Ice scoreboard will keep you updated on those games, and during our intermissions tonight we'll be bringing you selected highlights from the 1,000 previous games that have been played on ESPN and on the Deuce. Kasparaitis in the penalty box here as he got 5 and 2 in the matching penalties in the last series here, and we are indeed piling them up. Our 1000th game. Randy says, will we get 1,000 PIMs to go with it?
At this rate, Randy, it's not a bad bet.
Good opportunity right there. Drop back to center. Pick back up. Wilkinson sends it into the middle. It'll be dumped deep into the zone by Martin Straka. Straka had a good game yesterday, including a game winner as Pittsburgh came back and won it 6-4 after Lindros was taken out with that concussion. Lindros stayed in the hospital in Pittsburgh last night, returned home here to Philadelphia this morning, and is feeling a little bit loose. Luke Richardson drops it off. Samuelson over there. Samuelson got it up and out of the zone, bounced over the stick. Chasing down, Alexander Dale. They could not get to it. Near side, looking up Wilkinson, sends it back into the middle. Lots of hits going on. Straka got out of the way of Luke Richardson that time. Right back in, 2-on-1. Save made by Hextall. Whistled, though, on the offside. And again, we're going to get a penalty. Mick Magoo's got at least one coming here as Luke Richardson was involved along the blue along with Shell Samuelson, and Pittsburgh's going to draw the penalty. Chris Tamer
Well, Mick Magoo, the referee for tonight's game, is mic'd. He's had some explaining to do already. He's got more, but this is what it sounded like moments ago.
He come back. Ronnie, I was watching every bit of it.
Initial penalty on them?
No, Ronnie, I did not have
you did. Your hand was
Ron, wait a second. Wait a second. You're right, I did. Okay, but then
penalty?
What's that?
They had the initial
Your man had the original penalty for a punch.
They're taking a fucking punch. Come on.
Ronnie, I'm watching every bit of that stuff. Don't worry about me.
You let them get away with that?
Well, that's what a referee has to do. Part of it is to go out there and explain what the calls are. Coaches will send their captains out. Tamer gets the 2 for slashing at 8:06. And that will be dumped in. Philadelphia's back on the power play, their second power play of the game. They've got the 1-0 lead on a power play goal. Intercepted. Good play. Stu Barnes loads it. Lang missed. Robert Lang ended up going in alone on Hextall, and a penalty coming. Philadelphia will lose their power play. A turnover by the Flyers at center as they started the power play. And the penalty to prevent the goal will result in a 4-on-4.
But the Penguins have turned into a hockey team that wins games based on their play in the neutral zone. Yanni Needham has got to know that. The Penguins, with their trap when they fall back into it, and that wasn't even close. Stu Barnes' stick was right in the way. Yanni Needham's season has just kind of fallen apart. Long went high. Robert Lang went high on Ron Hextall. Ron Hextall is hard to beat. So many times Mario Lemieux tried to beat Hextall high to the glove. And of all the guys that tormented Mario Lemieux on breakaways, Ron Hextall was #1. High on that glove. Mario used to keep trying it and hardly ever got it.
Hextall's having a great year. His .205 goals against is third best in the National Hockey League. Yet they went out and got Sean Burke in the deal, of course, with Vancouver, figuring Burke was going to come in here with a shot at being the #1 net finder. Now Burke, his first outing yesterday, had to leave in the second period with back spasms. So Hextall again, the opportunity to earn #1. 4-on-4 situation. The hooking call at 8:23 on Needham. We'll open up a little ice here. Reggett played it around to the far side. Tom Barrasso having a great year for Pittsburgh in net. He's out of there with an elbow injury that started 17 in a row until yesterday's game. Kenny Reggett played yesterday and picked up his 200th career win in that 6-4 victory in Pittsburgh with these two teams going at it there. Frederick Olsen brought it out. Yager came back to get it as they slice around at center. Picked back up by Therrien. Therrien moves it in near side. Leclerc gives chase. Reggett there first. Reggett backhands it to Jaromir Jagr. Jagr in this game enters with 28 goals and 50 assists on the season. Jagr circling here. They're not even close to having a power play, so all they're doing at center ice is wasting time, really. Martin Straka goes back into the zone. Wilkinson again. Wilkinson gains the red, looking wide side. Dumped it in. Hextall will play the bouncing puck around and off the far side wall. The Sillinger has got the goal in this game. Sillinger to Samuelson. Samuelson banked it ahead and lost it there. Played back by Morozov. The 21-year-old Alexei Morozov on the wing. Wilkinson in. Hextall back to get it. The fine stick handlers among netminders in the NHL. Ron Hextall will play the puck at any given opportunity. In the corner, Samuelson. Samuelson the hit. Morozov stepped up to try and hold it in. Samuelson skates taken out from underneath. Morozov trying to dig that puck out. Samuelson could not hang on to it. Pittsburgh, good job to keep it in. Near side, Straka was looking out along the line. He'll head to the bench now. Sillinger will pick it up. Sillinger starts it up. Power play underway for Pittsburgh, but it will be a short one. This will be the second power play of the game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Obviously did not convert on the first opportunity. Down to just 4 seconds remaining on the advantage. Hatcher trying to run it in. Robert Lang on the far side got pinned up, lost it. Eric Desjardins pushed it behind the net. Joe Otto there. Penalty is over. And we're back to a 5-on-5 situation. Only 5 shots in this game. 3 for the Flyers, 2 for the Pens. Flyers had the first 3. They haven't had one now for about 6 minutes in this game. Into the zone, chased by Frederick Olsen. Olsen got beaten back there by Podine, but pinned him up and lost it. Kevin Hatcher cleared it up on the near side, and Rob Brown looking for help. Brown brings it up. Brown lugging in. Brown dropped it off. D in. Down low, shot, save made. Olsen ran that one along the ice as he had a couple of screens set up in front of him. Paul Coffey had it flipped away. Lang had it, lost it. Held in behind the net. Good play to dump by Barnes. Jardine came back to get it. He cleared it up far side. Game settles down a little bit here now. Degg dumped it in on the backhand, chance wide. Chased into the corner. Craig Darby. Darby's first game this year. Darby had it batted away. Darby just called up for the minor league team that plays at the Spectrum to play in this game. Darby playing in his 33rd career NHL game. Back through center, brought up by Wilkinson. They'll want to change it up and send in one. Brendamore on the near side. Brendamore clears it out. Penalty coming up far end. A big hit. Oh, yeah. Mick Magoo watching to make sure it doesn't go any further, but boy, there was a shot put on behind the play. Eric Desjardins.
But this one was easy to call. Tyler Wright was in the corner. The defense pair of Desjardins and Chris Therien were out there, and Therien towers over Tyler Wright. After Wright took Desjardins, incoming. Look out.
Hello, this is Gary Larson with Instant Auto of Hastings, Nebraska. If you've had credit problems in the past, we can provide you with the financing and deliver you a new vehicle today at low payments. For example, this 91 Cavalier Z24 for the low payment of $57, or this 1992 LeSabre Limited for the low payment of $64. Don't pay those high interest rates or initiation fees. No one is turned down. Give us a call, or better yet, stop in today and drive home in your new automobile at Instant Auto of Hastings, Nebraska.
It's finally here, the Hamilton Used Car Superstore.
Come on in. Our used car superstore is so unique, you'll never buy a used vehicle the same way again.
Shop in the warm comfort of the Used Car Superstore's new indoor lot for super buys like this. A 97 Pontiac Grand Am, $99.83. A 97 Chevy Blazer, $19,580.
You just can't go wrong.
Nobody makes better deals and gives you more value than the Hamilton Used Car Superstore.
Let the good deals roll.
Here is the difference now that there are no obstruction penalties. Look at the space between Hatcher and Podine. Hatcher does not lay a stick on him, does not want to get an obstruction penalty, and as a result, Podine is able to get in, get the forecheck going on Frederick Olofsson. That's what it's all about. Play is more continuous. We've got good hitting in the corners now, more flow. Yahoo! Keep it up, guys.
And Mick Magoo had to come over and separate Jágr and Jani Niinimaa. They were going at it. Niinimaa was tying him up, had a leg lock on Jágr and wouldn't let go. And it's the Pittsburgh power play here as the Flyers will be shorthanded. High sticking 11:35 on Ontario. Jaromir Jágr. Chance for the Pens to get this game tied up. Jágr will set it up here as Pittsburgh looks at a lot of room. Flyers stay back. Dumped over to Hatcher. Hatcher's got that good shot. Back out on top. Deflected by Ron Francis wide. It's on the back of the net. No whistle. Pittsburgh able to bang that one off. Jágr's got it back again. Jágr looking up to the top. Olofsson will be playing along the blue. There's Olofsson. Olofsson back for Jágr. Let it go. Ronnie Francis. His pass bounced away by Desjardins. Desjardins and Francis do battle in the corner. Francis in the middle. Had a man open. Didn't take the shot. Olofsson. Olofsson leaves it. Ron Francis. Francis back in the middle for Barnes. Didn't get it. Francis was open. Didn't take the shot. Hatcher on the far side. Hatcher leaves it back on top. Olofsson. Olofsson's open. His blast deflected to the near side off Desjardins. Jágr gave chase. Couldn't get it and cleared out of the zone by Sean Podine. Minute left on the power play for the Pens. Each team 3 shots on net. Flyers have not had a shot since the goal was scored almost 8 minutes ago in this game. Hextall again will leave it off to the side. Rod Brendamore, great shorthanded player. Clears it out. Kenny Reagan at the other end slows her down.
Great all-around player, isn't he? He's wearing the C Rod Brendamore is in Eric Lindros' absence. Wayne Cashman said before the game he's going to probably put up 2 different sets of wingers with Rod Brendamore. Even though this is the second game on consecutive days, Rod Brendamore can play forever. What a workhorse.
Brad Waranka's got it. He'll move it up. Brendamore goes to the bench. Power play continues here off the near side. Batted up in the air. Pens down to 20 seconds remaining on their power play opportunity. Big scramble here. Straka lost it. Otto dumped it back into his own end. Rob Brown giving chase. Blasted up the near side. Straka blocked it partially, but it came out of the zone. Otto up in a 2-on-2 shorthanded. Podine with him on the right. Looking for Podine in the middle. Waranka blocked it before it ever got there. Rob Brown. Brown reaching, could not get to it. Brendamore again batted it away, and the power play is over. Pittsburgh does not convert. Philadelphia kills it off. The Philadelphia penalty killers, 7th best in the NHL and 1st at home, have gotten it done here so far when they've been out there on the power play with Pittsburgh having it. Third back up the center by Chris Tamer. Far side, Jani Niinimaa came over and put the hit. He's had some big hits here in this first period. Paul Coffey up for Leclerc. John Leclerc. Leclerc had it batted away. Wilkinson at center. Wilkinson and Leclerc still tied up as it's shot back in.
Boy, it's tough to get the puck across the ice when Pittsburgh gets their trap set up. That red, that yellow, and black and white wall is set up. John LeClair just wanted to flip it to anybody, just get it to the other side, and he couldn't.
Pittsburgh's defense has been one of the great stories of this NHL season. Here's Robert Lang. Lang had it knocked away by Coffey, played around on the boards by LeClair and Desjardins. Desjardins up, not up. Wilkinson, save made, rebound, setting in the slot. Robert Lang, save, Hextall, rebound, put to the side by Barnes. Two big saves by Hextall, Robert Lang. Lang again holds it in. Lang looking for help, can't find any. Desjardins able to poke that one out of the zone. 3-on-2 the other way, LeClair just poke checked away as he tried to draw it back, and another whistle. A cross check coming on Philadelphia behind the play. Boy, it is all over the ice. Pittsburgh is going to get the power play with 5:15 left to go, and Hextall protecting the Flyer lead.
Mick Magoo's neck must be sore already from looking all over the place. He's got to look back at Ron Hextall as you see his numbers. Look to the other end. Watch every aspect of this game because there is trouble virtually everywhere.
That great blues song goes, Trouble on My Mind.
Yes, our U.S. Army goal cam from behind Ron Hextall. It is not a heat-seeking camera. It is a puck-seeking camera. And Ron Hextall and the camera were after the same thing that time. Hextall lost his stick and wasn't able to grab the puck, but got some help from Desjardins.
Ron Hextall has played a ton of games against Pittsburgh. He is 18, 13, and 3 in his career against the Pittsburgh Penguins. These teams playing for the third time this season, of course, including the game yesterday. Eric Desjardins out on the cross-check at 14:45. And the power play again will go to the Pittsburgh Penguins. It'll be their 4th power play opportunity of the game. Sillinger's goal at 4:31, the only one up there on the board. And that's the last time Philadelphia had a shot. 4:31 into the first period. There's 5 minutes left to go in the period now. Here's the 4th opportunity on the advantage. Hatcher sends it in. Comes near side to Jagr. Couldn't get it. Otto has it. Otto lost it. Jagr had reached in. Otto got it back. Lost it again. Goes behind that. Samuelson over on the chase, and he'll clear it out of the zone. And he rug it at the other end. Philadelphia will change up on their penalty killing unit. Pittsburgh power play last season was second best in the NHL. Dipped a bit without Mario Lemieux, but still tied for 7th. They are, however, 18th on the road. Much better at home in the power play than they are on the road. Far side, Hatcher holds it in. Hatcher dumps into the corner. Ron Francis will be along that mid wall on the far side. Hatcher, Olesen along the blue. Looking for Jagr on the weak side. Jagr moves into the middle. Out for Francis. Francis back on top. Hatcher. Hatcher the shot. Hextall the save. Rebound. Look. Back. Trying to turn it in. Hit the ball. Richardson got a stick on it. And they get a whistle. And a penalty shot. A penalty shot. Somebody put a glove on top of the puck in the crease. Mick Magoo was there. We're going to have a penalty shot here in the first period.
How about it? How about this? Ron Francis of the Penguins, their captain, was standing behind the net calling for it. He was saying, hand on the puck, penalty shot, and Mick Magoo bought it. He saw it and called it immediately. Cannot do it. It looked for a minute that Ron Hextall might be the guy covering it up. Let's see it right here. Went outside. Who was it? Kjell Samuelsson. And Ron Hextall, I'm sure, is saying he's trying to cover up Kjell Samuelsson's hand so that Mick Magoo couldn't see it. You can't close your hand. Close your hand on the puck when it's in the crease.
That was close.
It was almost looked like it was out of the crease, didn't it?
Samuelsson, I think, had to draw it back into the crease.
Yeah.
And that's Ron Hextall saw that and dove on top of him to avoid the whistle and didn't do it. Here we go.
If he doesn't draw it back into the crease, I don't think there's a penalty shot. Now, who's going to take it for the Pittsburgh Penguins?
There you see Ron Hextall, career penalty shots. 4 shots faced, 4 goals allowed. Stu Barnes will take the shot. It'll be the 26th penalty shot of the year. 14 goals have been scored on penalty shots on the previous 25 chances. This goal would tie the game up. A great moment in sports for our 1000th National Hockey League broadcast on ESPN and on ESPN2. Why not have a penalty shot? 0 for 1 in his career for Stu Barnes. Peter Sidorkiewicz is the man who denied him. There's Samuelsson. Here we go. Barnes on Hextall. Penalty shot. Save made by Hextall.
But you see Jaromir Jagr standing there watching all of this. He was on the bench. They had to pick somebody that was on the ice to take the penalty shot. And Stu Barnes was out there and Jaromir Jagr wasn't. At least I don't think he was out there. You got to figure Kevin Constantine would go with Jagr. See where Stu Barnes was trying to go. This was Ron Hextall as patient as you'll ever see him. He stood, he didn't move an inch until Barnes shot. But that slow-mo looked like the puck bounced up on Barnes, and this is what Ron Hextall did after. He was yelling at Barnes the whole way as soon as he made the save. Come on, man. Try it again.
And then those who come out on the ice always go to the netminder with the congratulations, including John LeClaire. Nobody breathing happier than Shel Samuelson right now. And Hextall's had a big first period. It remains a 1-0 Philadelphia lead. Penguins out shooting the Flyers 7-3. Still a power play here for Pittsburgh. Hatcher back to get it. Otto will chase him in behind the net. Hatcher will start it out for the Pens, who are on their 4th power play of the game. They've had every chance to either tie or get a lead in this game, and Hextall's been the man who has denied them here in the first period. Bounces out through center ice. Olsen will have to give chase. This Philadelphia crowd is loving this one. They came expecting this kind of first period, wanting this kind of first period. They've gotten it in the great Flyer tradition of slam-bam hockey. Jaromir Jagr. Jagr, a little slam-bam. His shot. Hextall a save. Jaromir Jagr with a great move. Single-handedly creating the opportunity. Barnes. Still a power play. 14 left on it. Jagr's in front. Jagr the tip. Lost it. Barnes trying to pick it up. Can't. Jagr fanned on the chance. And it's cleared back out through center. Big haul down by Forbes. And a penalty coming. But a penalty on Pittsburgh. Whoa. Forbes grabbed the jersey, but it's the retaliatory call on Pittsburgh that's going to be the penalty here, called by Mick Magoo, who just got hit in the leg with a skate as a couple of players went flying by him on the ice.
Remember, we have Mick Magoo mic'd. Maybe if we can listen to that little bit, we might hear him say, ouch, 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 after he got hit.
I have a feeling he said more than that, and it's not going to be heard.
Well, it has been an incredible hockey game so far, so don't bother going anywhere just yet.
My ancestor dreamt of winning the Highlands Open, but his golf wasn't up to par. So he designed a wider golf club for better control of his drives. Truly, wider is better.
Improve your drive with the Wide Track Grand Prix Sports Sedan. Its unique Wide Track design sets the wheels wider for better control on any course.
My family crest still bears the proverb, Nashleha Nasher.
Wider is better. The Wide Track Grand Prix by Pontiac.
You haunt me, my friend. Everywhere I go, you're there. Kiev, Buenos Aires, Budapest. But not this time. At long last, victory is mine.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the Penguins.
Olsen closest to you there, the man in the middle, picked up the penalty, 16:49 on a holding call after we thought it was going to go the other way, but Mick Magoo saw the hold, and it's a power play here in the 3rd of the game for the Philadelphia Flyers with 3 minutes to go. They get a chance to take the 2-0 lead. Philadelphia on the power play, Jani Nieminen. Nieminen drops it off. They'll set up Sillinger in the high slot. Nieminen looking. Paul Coffey now moves way in. Sillinger shot deflected back out to Brendamore. Back over to Nieminen. Nieminen over to Coffey. Coffey, who's sneaking way down low, is playing a point on the power play, but came in on that weak side looking for the opportunity. Laid back in the zone with 2:43 to go here in the period. 1:30 on the power play for the Flyers, being outshot 8-3. Looking for their first shot since the goal was scored by Sillinger on a power play very early in this period. Cleared back out. A long time between shots here for Philadelphia.
Sure has. Mike Sillinger is taking Eric Lindros' spot on the power play, and he's going to be positioned right between the hash marks in front of Kenny Reagan.
Paul Coffey, who lost his helmet there, sees the puck go by him, and Ron Hextall will play it at the other end. Philadelphia's power play, 9th best in the NHL. They've struggled of late. Only 4 power play goals in their last 31 chances. This Pittsburgh penalty killing team is ranked 14th in the NHL. Desjardins dropped it back on top Terry, and Terry on a wrister deflected. Rolling in that high slot. Terry and Reach couldn't get it. Cleared out of the zone, length of the ice by Ian Moran. Back to get it. Hextall helping out Desjardins. He'll send it in. Both teams changing on a fly here. Philadelphia still has 36 remaining on the advantage. Terry on the near side. Terry dumped it in. Hit by Tyler Wright. Back on the Flyers side. Desjardins was open in the middle. Puck picked up. Tyler Wright's got it shorthanded. Wright will bring it the other way. Didn't have any help, so he just sends it in. Pittsburgh has scored 10 shorthanded goals this season and another penalty. And defense call, and it's going to go against the Flyers. And for 19 seconds, Pittsburgh will have a two-man advantage. Terry and Eichel, but he'll go to the bin on interference. Our Bud Ice scoreboard games tonight. Phoenix with a 5-game losing streak. The Hurricanes and Ducks, and the Mighty Ducks are struggling mightily right now.
Boy, aren't they? Well, Darius Kasparaitis continues to wage war with just about everybody that comes into his territory. And he's dishing it out and he's taking it. John Leclerc really wanted to rip him into the boards. Got a pretty good hit on him. But after that, Kasparaitis nailed 3 different flyers. So Darius is just playing his game. This is the penalty that was called by Mick Magoo. Puck went by Tyler Wright. Looked like kind of a decent takeout, but he called it interference on Chris Therien.
Let me correct myself. We get a 4-on-4 situation here with that penalty on Therien at 18:31. Shot run now in this game. Pittsburgh's had the last 8 shots in this game. The last 14 even strength since that goal picked up by Sillinger, as that came at 4:31, the goal by Sillinger. So Pittsburgh out shooting the Flyers 8-0 over the last 14 minutes.
You know, I'm not surprised. I mean, the Penguins were on their heels early because the Flyers were revved up. Remember, this is a team that overcame two-goal disadvantages in yesterday's game to win. The difference in this Penguins team, because they're so good defensively, they bend, but they don't break very often.
Yolanda won the draw. Hatcher trying to hold it in. Hatcher did. Played by Hextall. We've got 1:20 left to go here in this first period. Sillinger, the power play goal, giving Philadelphia that 1-0 lead. That has been it. Shots 8-3 in favor of the Pens, but they've not been able to get it by Hextall, including a Barnes penalty shot. Knocked away by Kenny Reggett on the shot. Taken on the near side by Podine. Otto had it, fell down, lost it. Picked up. Yager will trail the play. Yager just watching Robert Lang go by, and Francis with the puck. Francis in. Francis spun around. Power play underway out for Pittsburgh. They've got 1:25 in the power play. But we're in the final minute of the period. Yager trying to tuck it in. Whoa. Hextall got caught out of the play. Back up for Hatcher. Hatcher near side Olsen. Frederick Olsen. Power play. Yager shot. Save. Rebound. Barnes. Save. Oh, what a kick out by Hextall. He was going in the other direction. Reached back with his right leg and kicked it away. Sean Podine, the flip out of the zone. Here in Philadelphia, who's the #1 goaltender is yet to be determined for the end of this season and the playoffs between Sean Burke and Hextall. Hextall's putting on a show with the opportunity tonight because of the injury to Burke. Tipped away at center. Yanni Niemann dug that one out, short-handed the other way, brought back in, down the middle, Platt, shot, blocked, Platt trying to run it in, could not get it by Hatcher. Hatcher in his own zone, dangerously plays that in front of his own netminder, and this first period's over, and we hope you enjoyed it. We sure did. Wow. Shots are 10-4 in favor of Pittsburgh. Mike Sillinger, the man who got the goal at 4:31 from Brendamore and Klatt, and Ron Hextall with 10 saves, including a penalty shot save on that man, Stu Barnes. And just think, there are 2 more periods left to go. It's the Flyers 1, Pittsburgh 0. Lindenberry.
Guys, thanks. I'm sorry, there just wasn't enough action in that period. Barry, you said it. You said it before the game. The Flyers were going to take revenge, and it didn't take them long to do just that.
That's for those people who want to take anger out of the game. I think you saw what it adds. Philadelphia came out. They were played with passion. That's what this team has to do more of. Then they can use that big physical bodies of theirs to put Pittsburgh on their heels, like Gary and Bill said. But they must continue to do it time after time after time, and do it for 60 minutes, not just 5 like they did in the first period. And also keep your sticks down. That's the only penalties Mick Magoo are calling. Stick violations. Keep them down and finish those checks. And they'll win this game if they can continue to play like that.
And we'll try to keep the intensity high in between periods. We're going to head out west. That's right. Coming up, St. Louis Blues are hot. Why? Because of their goalie, Jamie McLennan. 2 years removed, believe it or not, from near death because of bacterial meningitis. That's one reason for this success. Barry will have the other one coming up. Stay with us.
Bet you Bud Light, my friend here, can beat you.
Yeah, right. Okay, pal, you're on.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
This would be mine.
Make it a Bud Light.
Bud Light says my friend here can beat you.
I know you're in there, mister.
Miss Plum. I can smell your recently delivered pizzeria pizza. And while I'm appalled at your wicked little plan to lure me into your tawdry web with the promise of a deliciously topped pizza, Miss Plum, I am but a man, weakened by the siren's call of a well-risen crust.
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
She wants me.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Beep, beep.
With its unique wide track design, the Wide Track Grand Prix Sports Sedan provides better cornering and control when you're out for a bite. The Wide Track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Wider is better.
2 magazines, 1 double espresso, $12. Khaki pants, $45. Work boots, $85. Realizing you're unzipped before anyone else does? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted all over. Even coffee bars.
Who's tough enough? Strong enough? Powerful enough to protect the National Hockey League? New Speed Stick Ultimate with antibacterial odor protection. Kills odor, protects guys.
By men.
ESPN's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by the new Zip built-in drive from iOmega. Get one in your next computer.
Hi, how are you? Linda Cohn in the National Hockey Night studios. We're in between periods with the Flyers leading the Penguins 1-0. 2 games tonight. Elsewhere, the Dallas Stars entered the night tied with the Devils for the best overall record in the league, but they were winless in their last 3 games, taking on a team in Phoenix in worse shape. 5 straight losses. First period, Mike Modano with a steal. Nikolai Habibulin, the save. Scoreless Dallas on the attack. Joe Nieuwendyk to Brad Lukowich. The save. Habibulin is still a scoreless game. More from Dallas. Nieuwendyk. The shot, the save, and then Yuri Lettinen cross-checked in front. And the game is still scoreless in Dallas. Phoenix winless overall in the last 8 games, Barry.
Linda, when the Stars had Modano and Nieuwendyk out, they continued to win. That showed how deep a team they are. Right now, Hatcher and Zubov are both out. They haven't won in 3 games. That shows how important defensemen are to a team. Much more important than forwards.
And Keith Tkachuk is out with a groin injury. Carolina and Anaheim, first period. Carolina on the attack. Just 5 points behind Ottawa for that last playoff spot coming in. And look at this. Keith Primo finds a way. His 20th of the year. Canes led 1-0. 37 seconds later, more from the Canes. Hill to Martin Jelena, who scores 2-0 Hurricanes. Jelena's 9th of the year. And there you see the score, 2-0.
Well, in the Olympics, I felt Keith Primo was probably Canada's best player night after night after night in the Olympics. He's continuing to play that way in the NHL, and he's single-handedly getting this team going. If they win tonight, that's 4 in a row, and they're right up, right behind Ottawa.
And Solani and Green are both playing for Anaheim there. Now for our Who's Hot, Who's Not segment. In the Who's Hot part, we begin with the St. Louis Blues. I mentioned Jamie McLennan, 5-0 since Grant Fuhr went down with an injury, but there's another reason for their success.
Well, we knew when the break started there were going to be a lot more obstruction penalties, and the special teams, started playing well, would have a vast chance to improve their standings, and that's exactly what St. Louis has happened. Their power play has taken off. They've started winning with that. Their power play now is about 20.1%, and you can see why. You got McGinnis shooting, you got Duchesne on the points, you got Brett Hull up front, you got Turgeon up front, you got Courtnall up front. This is a very talented group, and they're making the best of it. When they get a chance in the power play, it goes in that. Look at this beautiful play. These are talented men. They know where each other is, and they're taking advantage of all the power plays they got in their power, and their penalty killing right now is over 90%. So you got great penalty killing, great power play. A couple teams that are really struggling. You've seen one tonight. Phoenix is awful. They haven't won since the break. They should have a good special teams with that power play, with Tkachuk, with Tocchet, with Roenick, players like that, but their power play is 2.9%. You're not going to win any games at 2.9%. Another team that's been awful since the break is Anaheim. Yes, they have excuses because of injuries, Korea's situation, Solani's playing tonight, Green's playing tonight, but this team's dropping in the standings. Their power play is 10% since the break. They must pick that up. Their penalty killing is about 83%, which is okay, but not by today's standards. But somehow they got to find a way to rally everybody, rally all those injured guys, get back playing. It's a good step tonight with Solani and Green playing, but they need Korea back if they got any chance of making the playoffs.
Let's head back east now. Flyers GM Bobby Clarke said something and did something he said he wasn't going to do. go out and trade for a goalie, and that's what he did. He traded Garth Snow to Vancouver. In return, he got Sean Burke. Why Sean Burke? A guy hasn't played in a playoff game in 8 years, Barry. He hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years.
Well, that's what the detractors are saying. Why Sean Burke and not a guy like Cujo? I think Cujo's price tag was too high. Glenn Sather wanted young players, maybe Yanni Nina, maybe a guy like Dana Zubris. Bobby Clark's not going to give those guys up. I personally like this trade. I think Sean Burke's an excellent goaltender. I think, number one, he'll push Hextall to make Hextall a better goaltender. Also, they'll have a rivalry. And Sean Burke, I think, is a great goaltender. Now, the pressure's on the players. Bobby Clark has taken the pressure off Hextall and off the goaltending situation. Now the players have to look at themselves and say, our GM went out and got us a top-flight goaltender, which I think Burke is. Now maybe we should start winning some games. We got a great team here. We're big, strong. We got talent. We got 4 lines. We got 6 great defensemen. Maybe the pressure's on the players now to win instead of the poor goaltenders, the way it was in last year's playoffs.
And the team the Flyers are trying to catch for first overall in the East, the New Jersey Devils, going to be on the deuce tomorrow night, taking on the New York Rangers. And Wayne Gretzky, believe it or not, vows vengeance. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I need more people out here. This is a big bird.
35,000 cubic feet of storage space, room for 6 city buses. The Condor is the world's largest cargo plane, yet it's nothing compared to the unlimited capacity you get with this amazing drive. The Zip built in. Get one in your next computer from iOmega.
Hey, you need a hand with that?
Get away.
Hello?
How's your butt ice? Doobie, doobie.
That's the 3rd one tonight.
It's okay. The police are tracing the call.
Hello? This is the police. Those calls are coming from inside the house. Repeat, those calls are coming from inside the house.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the penguins.
Sir? Sir?
I remember the day he came to our farm, just before harvest time. He introduced himself. We talked some, and he told me about something that never been done before. How soybeans like mine were now being used for a new kind of cooking oil. It seems the folks who make Crisco had come up with Olean, an oil that fries up snacks without adding any fat or calories. Make them taste especially good. So I told him, that sounds all right. And now I see what I'm part of, and it makes me feel good.
Coming soon from the makers of Crisco, new fat-free Olean, a good place to start.
If you had 99 cents, what would you buy? A gallon of gas? A new air freshener? How about Wendy's chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
All white meat, crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside. Bite for bite, the best bet in chicken.
That's the one I'd pick.
NHL Center Ice. Up to 30 games per week. Order NHL Center Ice pay-per-view package. Now a half-season offer at a reduced price. To order, call DirecTV at 1-800-GET-SPORTS or Primestar at 1-800-PRIME-STAR.
We go from the madness of the NHL to the madness of Selection Sunday. Yes, the field of 64 announced today, bracket seedings, positionings. That's what we're talking about. And let's look at the top 4 seeds. No real surprises, as you can see. But let me tell you about a couple of surprise bids. Detroit at 24-5, Illinois, Chicago, each getting at-large bids from Midwestern Collegiate Conference. And how about Miami, 18-9 from out of the Big East? Miami's first bid since 1960. But as you can see, the top 4 seeds, nothing shocking. Don't forget on SportsCenter at 11 Eastern tonight, you want to join Rich and Kenny Mayne because Latrell Sprewell will be the topic of our Sunday conversation. Stay tuned. We will continue.
Long live Rome and on to victory.
There are times when you can't afford to miss a message. That's why Skyward Plus stores your messages when you go out of range and automatically delivers them when you get back.
Brutus!
Because everybody knows missing a message can have serious consequences. So get SkyTel and get the message guaranteed.
Although the GSXR 750 just won back-to-back AMA Supersport championships, and the GSXR 600 had the most AMA 600 Supersport victories, we weren't satisfied. We made over 20 major improvements to the 600 and gave the 750 electronic fuel injection. Now even its shadow can't keep up. the GSX-R 600 and the GSX-R 750 from Suzuki.
Look at your recent credit card bills. You could be paying as much as 21% in interest rates, and it's not tax deductible. If you own your home, First Plus can consolidate all your credit cards and other loans into one low monthly payment, and the interest may be tax deductible. Just call 1-800-510-PLUS. There's no fee to apply, and you'll get an answer before you hang up. So stop paying high interest rate credit cards that are not tax deductible. Consolidate them at First Plus. Call 1-800-510-PLUS.
I was named after the sound of a goal being scored. Kachuk. Last season, goalies heard my name 52 times. Could have been more, but I spent over 200 minutes in the penalty box. That's the way I play, hard and fast. Like NHL Breakaway 98, with rumble pack checking, high-powered goal scoring, and the best graphics on ice. NHL Breakaway 98. Looks like we got a new leader of the pack. Acclaim Sports. Sweat the details.
Hi, how are you? Linda Cohn back with you in the National Hockey Night studios. Barry Melrose, what about this Olympic fiasco? I've been reading Brian Burke. He knows, the league knows who trashed the rooms at Olympic Village.
Since it is a fiasco, there's only one man in the United States capable of finding out who's done this, who wrecked the rooms, and that's Kenneth Starr. As soon as he's done with Monica Lewinsky, we get that guy over here to the NHL. He'll get to the bottom of this in 8 or 9 months, no doubt about it.
I am so glad I am. Second period coming up next. The Flyers leading the Penguins 1-0. We'll be right back.
Hi, Sherry. How are you?
Pretty good. Jared and Jess are here for their appointments.
Hi, kids. Dr. Murphy will be with you in just a moment.
Okay, great.
You are big.
We offer the highest quality, state-of-the-art dentistry for you and your family at the office of Dr. Gerald Murphy.
Legend has it that in the Old West, that sound could mean only one thing, a taste with bite. Carlos O'Kelly's Authentic Fajita. We make Carlos Fajitas from only the freshest ingredients. Truly a meal that attacks all the senses, just like Carlos used to make. In fact, about the only thing that's changed is the silverware. Carlos O'Kelly's Mexican Cafe. Legendary food, legendary fun.
ESPN's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Visa, the official card of the U.S. hockey team. It's everywhere you want to be. By the new Dodge Intrepid, we're changing everything again. And by Molson, the true taste of hockey.
National Hockey Night, Philadelphia. The Penguins have lost 10 consecutive games here in Philadelphia over the last 4 years, including 3 playoff games, and they're behind here by a score of 1-0. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Brian Engblom, welcome back, everybody. There's the head man of Pittsburgh.
And his big job taking over was getting the players to buy into his defensive system. When you get the star players like Jaromir Jagr to buy in, you're way ahead of the game. Well, Kevin Constantine must have been happy when he read what Jagr said when he got back from the Olympics. Jagr said, only one thing I'm going to bring home from there, obviously besides the gold medal. That defense makes you win championships. And I realized it again. We didn't play very good offensively, but we had a good goaltender. We played very good defense and played like a team. That's why we won. And Kevin Constantine back home was saying, yeah, who? I got my big guy buying into the defensive system. And they are winning with him.
And Don Jackson, the assistant coach, has been given a lot of credit by Kevin Constantine. Jackson nearly died in an automobile accident back in '94. In fact, the passenger with him did pass away. Has come to Kevin Constantine, went to him, brought him here. He's a former goaltender. He's had a huge part in the defensive play that we see from Pittsburgh this year. They are a team that's improved more than any other. They've gone from 3.38 goals against, next to last in the league, to 2.29 tied for 4th. That is unheard of.
They're in every game because of it.
Yep. In the NHL, it's because of D. We start second period. Pittsburgh on a power play. 15 seconds remaining on the penalty to Philadelphia. And the net comes loose at the far end as they were swinging around behind there. Kenny Regan making the start in net, his 200th win in his career. Game yesterday. He's had 10-plus wins 11 years running.
One tough player and one great team guy. Fantastic.
There's our Molson League leaderboard. Most consecutive 10-plus win seasons. Kenny Regan, 11. John Van Beesbrook on top in that group right now at 14. Watt and Vernon, 13 and 12. This year, wins this season.
Well, the three on the left are all over 10. But Kenny Regan, because of the play of Tommy Barrasso, has hardly played, and Regan was also hurt, pulled a hamstring this season. But I asked Kenny Regan this morning about Tom Barrasso, and he said, I've never seen him play better. He has played with Tom Barrasso for 6 seasons. He said he has played better this year than at any other time I've played with him. He kept him in games early when the guys were learning the system, and he covers up a lot of mistakes. This team, to me, is scarier now to meet in the playoffs than they were even with Mario, because now it's not only stopping Yager, you got to try and generate offense against them, and you can't anymore.
And they're a disciplined team at both ends of the ice now. That flip ends up going on the Flyers bench. Just underway here in the second period on National Hockey Night. Let's check in with Brian England. Brian?
Gary, in our Speed Stick Ultimate Spotlight, we're going to take a look at 3-on-2s. We don't see very many in the NHL anymore, but when it does happen, Pittsburgh Penguins defense do it right. They have to come together in the middle of the ice, keep the play on the outside. Watch Neil Wilkinson 6 wide. Takes a calculated risk, but it's right. He knocks the puck away. Good thing, because he would have been susceptible from the outside. If that pass was made, he was dead in the water, but he did it right that time.
Yep, and he did it at the right time, Brian, as you did so well for so many years. You make that stick move and force the puck carrier to make the move at the blue line. What you're trying to do is force an offside, and that's what Wilkinson did on that play.
Stevie Lattin, the equipment man for Pittsburgh Penguins. Brian and I were talking with him before the game. He has a huge collection of wonderful memorabilia, including hockey sticks of great players. And he looked at Brian, he said, Brian, I have one of yours. Brian said, is that the one that's all worn down from playing with it out on the driveway? He said, you can't score with it either, can you? Not true, Brian. We stood up for you. Not for very long, but we did.
We're with you, win or tie, Brian. Win or tie.
Gasparitis, bad pass, intercepted, held in. Flyers down low as Chris Gratton passed to him, blocked. As Zuber's trying to get it in there. Big hit. Leclaire, Gasparitis fans love it right through the crease. John Leclaire. Chris Gratton behind the net. Gratton will move it. Gratton looking. We're back to a 5-on-5 situation now with the power play over. Big banging in front. Zuber shot. Save made. Leclaire. Rebound kicked away. Big plays. Kenny Regan. Cleared up to Gasparitis. In the middle. Brown. Brown will move it in. Both teams will change it up here on the fly, and the intensity level continues here in this second period. Hextall played it around. Hextall made a save for the first time in his career on a penalty shot against Stu Barnes. Another penalty coming up. There's the whistle. It'll go against Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. We'll get the power play. Well, hang on a minute. It's a cross-check, but it's going to go against Chris Gratton. So Philadelphia will be short-handed as Gratton got called for it, and Pittsburgh will get the advantage.
Wayne Cashman put a line back together that he had earlier in the year with Klatt on one side, Leclaire on the other side, and Gratton in the middle. And when Gratton and Leclaire out there against Gasparitis, it's all-out war. Watch Leclaire here. Bang on Gasparitis. Gasparitis saw him coming, braced himself, and still couldn't stop the big Leclaire freight train. You know, John Leclaire has really been like the rest of the Flyers over the last 15 games. He's kind of been in a funk. This is the most inspired game John Leclaire has played in the last 10 or 12.
He's got 5 goals in the last 18 games. Not a particularly good number for him. Still third in goal scorers in the NHL and 7th overall in points, playing at a +23. That's 7th best in the National Hockey League as well. Chris Gratton's out of there. Cross-check comes at 1:30. Power play. Held in. Shot. Save made by Hextall on the blast by Olsen. Olsen and Hatcher along the blue. Jaromir Jagr. Again a chance to get this game tied up. This is power play number 6 for Pittsburgh. Terrian putting the hit on Ronnie Francis in behind the net. Francis, one of the great assist men of all time in the NHL, working on this power play behind the net. He batted it away near side to Barnes, up to the far side point. Philadelphia challenging the puck now. They're coming out after it. They did not do that when they were shorthanded in the first period. Francis again behind the net. Therrien pinned him up. Desjardins looking to clear. High off the glass. Can't get it by Olsen. Held in near side. Flyers will get it easy out here, though. Therrien sends it up, but intercepted. Good play, Barnes. Barnes to Francis. Francis with Yager. In the middle. Looking, waiting for Hatcher. But deflected out of the zone by Forbes. Nice play by Forbes. Olsen waiting. They've got to get back on side here. Francis had it tipped away to Forbes. Forbes will clear it out. Under a minute left on this power play. Played around by Kenny Reggett. Hatcher on the far side. Ronnie Francis in the middle. Francis will move it in. Francis Barnes the trailer. Francis got in. Francis can't get the backhand shot off Samuelson. There to block it. Far side. Brown had it. Lost it. Pick it up.
What move by Ron Francis. I mean, he doesn't have the speed. He's never had the speed. But that doesn't mean he can't deke you right out of your skates. Luke Richardson went east and Ronnie Francis blew west.
Ronnie Francis, 6 players with 1,000 assists. He's looking to join that group. He's got 994 in his career now. Rob Brown, the shot, ripped it wide. Rebound all the way back to Slager along the blue, and he brought that out to center. No question about it. Gary Slager pulled it out of there, and that'll be the offside with 20 seconds left in the Flyers penalty.
What we're looking at on our ESPN pre-play tonight is power plays. I want to show you what happens when you've got nobody inside this penalty killing box. When you keep the power play all the way around the outside, to me it's a lot easier to kill a penalty when nobody's in this blue area in the middle. But when somebody moves in there, you got to cover him. If this guy moves to him, you've got an opening there. Obviously, if this guy moves to him, this guy's open, and so on all the way around. Open guy here, or you got an open guy back here. So, to me, it's always easier when nobody is in the middle. Very often the Penguins put Kevin Hatcher, big Kevin Hatcher in front. But very often they're one of the few teams, if you watch them, that don't regularly have a guy in the middle. They try and play down low very often through the feet of the goaltender. Other kinds of plays down low, but not like that.
Here's a 2-on-2 opportunity. Shot save made by Hextall. Martin Straka ended up in a 2-on-1 opportunity, and Straka, a goal scorer, shut down again by Hextall, who's playing mighty tough. National Hockey Night continues next Sunday at 8 o'clock. Hope you'll join us. We will be in Anaheim. Colorado takes on the Mighty Ducks. This game will be seen nationally, including Colorado and Anaheim. And Teemu Selanne is back in action for the Mighty Ducks. We'll have Peter Forsberg out there for Colorado, tied for most points coming into tonight's action. And Selanne, who was among the leaders, in fact, was up there #1 until he was injured. But he's back, and that's good news for Anaheim. Great to have you with us here in National Hockey Night in Philadelphia tonight. Our 1,000th broadcast of an NHL game. And score! Right off the draw! The screen set up on that right side. I don't think Hextall ever saw the rip shot. And Pittsburgh, with a power play goal, has tied it up at 1-1. Brad Wawrinka, the rip.
Boy, I'll tell you what, face-off by Robert Long, banked off the board so quickly that Rod Brind'Amour couldn't get there. But then what happens is the Penguins go right for the screen. All right, stop right here for a second. Look at the crowd in front of Ron Hextall, and Rod Brind'Amour had to block this shot. Otherwise, Ron Hextall was in an impossible screen situation. Great execution by the Penguins. They knew the shot was coming. They wanted to take Hextall's vision away. Puck had eyes. 1-1.
Brad Wawrinka has 3 goals on the year. 2 of them have been power play goals. And he gets one right there on the 14th shot of the Pens to tie this game up at 1 apiece, and that will quiet the crowd a good deal. Brad Wawrinka on the power play goal. Pittsburgh trying to move it out of the zone. Kasparaitis near side, got it up. Ooh, what a shot by Yanni Nieminen, and a big board hit. Ian Moran, he gets back up. Wow.
That was incredible. I can't believe Ian Moran is back up, but he might want a piece of somebody now.
Moran went in back first on the boards and didn't even lose his breath on that. Grattan running it up at center. Knocked away Kasparaitis, and there's Ian Moran putting a hit on. Paul Coffey, blue line chance. Knocked away by Reggett. Taken back in behind the net. Game tied at 1 as we are here in the second period in Philadelphia. 15:39 left in it. We will get an icing call here. The goal scored by Wawrinka's 3rd of the year. Robert Lang got the assist at 3:29. So the 2 goals in this game have been power play goals.
Well, Rod Brind'Amour's on the bench. This is after the goal. Almost looked like he was complaining. Well, for good reason. He didn't stop that shot that he wanted to.
Winter in New England. Virginal, untouched, undisturbed. The way it was meant to be.
Let's rip it.
If you want to take on Sugarloaf, Attitash, Mount Snow, and any of these other great mountains with the American Skiing Company, take out your Visa card. Because none of the ticket windows at these 6 mountains take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Good day, and welcome to my brother's recurring dream, eh? Every night he drags me along. Bob, look. Beer Vana. It's always the same routine. Hey, big guy, what's it take to get a beer around here, eh? Same lies. I didn't do it. He did it. Hey, how'd you get in here?
Molson Golden, the best there is.
And the same ending. I just had a beer-ja vu, eh?
Well, in a physical game here tonight, Yanni Nienema has been among the most physical.
Has, and that on the left, that was Ian Moran, one of the feisty Penguins. But watch this. Man, Nienema is so solid. Watch this. And Ian Moran got up, looking for his stick, and did about 2 360s looking for it, finally found it.
Forbes in behind the net. Could not pick it up, and it'll be played back around. Warrenka's goal tying it up here at 3:29 in this period. Shots 14-6. The Flyers have only 6 shots as Pittsburgh. Part of their defensive play, they've gone from 34 shots averaged against them last year down to 27 this year. Samuelson up the near side and tipped out of the zone. Just loose at center now. Both these teams tough checking. Straka came away with it. Dumped in along the boards by Chris Ferraro. Played back there by Hextall. Samuelson got turned around and knocked down. Jammed up by Richardson. Forbes couldn't get it. Slager can't get it either. It comes back out to center. Slager and Tamer are teamed up defensively here. Philadelphia trying to change it up. Jaromir Jagr the loose puck. Jagr's got 4 Flyers on him. And not going to go anywhere through that group, even if your name is Jaromir Jagr. Back to get it, Chris Tamer. Tamer, 27-year-old D, far side. Pittsburgh still changing, trying to get people in the ice. Forbes went by the puck. Flyers will complete their line change behind the play. Francis open. Francis shot through a screen. Where is it? He's got it. Hextall, but he wasn't sure. He took a look behind him, but Hextall had squeezed that one shut in the pads. More coming up during our new Dodge intermission report. Barry will have a look on the Eric Lindros injury. Lindros, of course, out with a concussion. NHL action highlights coming up on that, and reflections back on our 1,000 NHL games and the voting for the top 10 Pacific games or moments during those previous 999.
Speaking of voting, I think Jaromir Jagr will be one of the 3 finalists for the Hart Trophy as the league's MVP. One of the 2 guys I think that'll be there. Peter Forsberg from Colorado, Dominik Hasek from the Buffalo Sabres, Carson Stone.
Jaromir Jagr, a chance to lead the league in scoring again, won the title back in the 94-95 season, joining Stan Mikita, the only 2 outside North America born out there who've ever won the title. Brendamore Sharp partially fanned on. Move back up 3-on-3. Jagger's on the right. Hatcher with the puck. Hatcher moves it in. Hatcher lets Jagr go by. Trying to feather that one in for him, but he got deflected by the Barnes. Barnes knocked down, pushed it to the far side. Played over there by Eric Desjardins. Desjardins will move it up. Peter Swoboda out of there. Defensive loss. Elbow injury for Philadelphia. Dan Porter, the big guy, and Daniel Lacroix both are scratches in tonight's game. Lacroix on a suspension. Back out. Jagr got it in the middle. Good pass by Jagr. Shot. Hextall right off the shoulder on that one. On a big blast by Robert Lang. Young shot, Brown shot deflected out in front. Cleared back up. Flyers on the attack, avoiding the bullet right there. Yanni Niemema again able to get it out of the zone. That'll be whistled on the offside on Philadelphia. Game tied at 1-1. Prior to tonight, Hextall had given up 4 penalty shot goals. Benoit Hogue, Andrew Castles, Mark Johnson, and Dave Tippett had all scored against him in 4 previous chances.
And that meant that the odds were on his side in the first period. When Stu Barnes took the penalty shot for Pittsburgh, after this infraction, you are not allowed to close your hand on the puck in the crease. Shel Samuelson closed it, pulled it into the crease. Here came little Stewie Barnes. He wanted high on Ron Hextall, but there was nothing there but black jersey.
And Hextall won that battle at the time, protecting the 1-0 lead. In the middle, Joel Otto. Bouncing puck, couldn't get a shot off. Otto with it again, trying to drop it out in front. Jammed away to the near side. Otto coming over. Robert Lang was there on him, but he got it in behind the net. Otto heads to the front. Return pass. They can't pick it up. John Drews got pinned up in the corner. Drews moving up the near side. Will send it back. Reggett moves out to get it. Reagan around. Tyler Wright trying to jam it up. Couldn't get it by Coffey. His shot hits skates, goes to the corner. Back near side. Pittsburgh the opportunity. Warenko's got their goal. Sends it to the wide side. Ball Coffey out. Waits for his teammates to clear. Philadelphia will change it up here. Warenko forced to start it from center. Gets it up. Rob Brown. Brown handled it. Onside? No. He'd cross that red two-line pass.
Kjell Samuelsson for the Flyers is 38 years young. He had a great game yesterday, and he is playing a lot of hockey here. You always got to remember when you have that egg roll between periods to follow up with a soy sauce on the bench. Right to the very last drop.
It took Guy Lafleur 3 scoring titles and 176 stitches to get to the Hall of Fame. It took the Golden Jet Bobby Hull 610 goals and 5 broken noses to get to the Hall of Fame.
And like it only took us 2 beers, eh? Each. Hey, that's mine. No way.
You too can make it to the special fan section of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Just look for specially marked packages of Molson, the official beer of the Hockey Hall of Fame.
In 1993, we changed everything. Dodge became the new Dodge, and the new Dodge became Intrepid. Now we're changing the way cars are created. Today's new Intrepid is the world's first car designed, assembled, and proven on computers, enabling a degree of precision never before possible. Welcome to the world of the new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again.
Well, Kjell Samuelsson is back out there. It's a European way of eating, I guess. You eat the food first, then you put the sauce on it.
Well, we had a little fun with it because I have no idea what that stuff was. I mean, if I knew, I would tell everybody. Seriously, you would think it's something to do with sugar, with energy, with vitamins, with something positive. I doubt that it was just the soy after the egg roll.
Samuelsson, the sauce, the shot. Deflected off the boards. Where's Ken Starr when you need him? Brought out by Straka. Straka moves it in, left it along the blue, but it wouldn't have mattered as he was offside. Martin Straka yesterday in the 6-4 win Pittsburgh had against Philadelphia at home. He got the game winning goal.
And he was really the recipient of a bad coverage play by the Flyers. I mean, it was a simple 3-on-3, but Marty Straka found himself wide open. You watch on this side of the ice, both of these Flyers go for one guy, and that left Marty Straka wide open in the slot to rip it by Ron Hextall. That should have been an easy coverage play for the Flyers, but this time of year, with the way the Flyers have been going lately, nothing has come easy.
Philadelphia 4-9 in their last 13 games as their scoring has gone south. Now they're without Eric Lindros with that concussion he suffered yesterday. He'll be out for an indefinite time. A second-degree concussion. Came back home today. Will not be playing, and they don't know how long. The doctors are saying it's going to take a while to rest. That's all they can do. Big hooking out there as Ferraro went down, but no call on it. Though Philadelphia keeps it alive. Leclerc just missed. Zubers gets the rebound. Tried to back it up. Desjardins, a lot of room. Desjardins, his shot. Save made right. Rebound, right. Score! Regan got caught out of the net. Leclerc trying to bang it home. Did. And Leclerc celebrating while Kenny Regan is down on the ice. He may have taken a skate to some portion of the body here as he went down behind the net.
Boy, is he hurting. He is hurting big time. Or the original shot might have caught him someplace, but he is a struggling, hurting man right now. You know, he looked like he was kind of sideways and off balance for the first shot. I'm not sure at that point whether or not he was in pain, but once that puck got to him on the first one, that he stopped, he fell to the side of the net, and I'm saying to myself, why did he fall out of the net? Well, that is why. He was stunned and hurt.
Peter Skudra is the backup goaltender who may get an opportunity for NHL action here tonight. See what happened. Kenny Reggett down and obviously really feeling it. John Leclerc will be credited with the Flyers' second goal of the game and gives them a 2-1 lead as he gets goal number 28.
John Leclerc knew that Kenny Regan was out of the net, so he was just throwing it up for grabs in front, and he got a bounce off of Yuri Slager's skate. So the Penguins goaltenders are falling. First Barrasso and now Regan. Here's the shot from Eric Desjardins. Oh yeah, that looked, well, it either hit him right in the cup, I mean right in the groin, or just to the right up high. It's hard to say. By the rebound, it looked like it wasn't dead center. I mean, it looked like it might have hit him right in the cup, but I know one thing. Wherever it hit him, he didn't have any padding.
Well, he remains down as Leclerc celebrates the goal. 39 goals on the season now for John Leclerc. And Philadelphia back on top. First even strength goal we've had. Leclerc from Desjardins and Zubris at 8:11 of the second. Kenny Reggett getting up out there, but obviously he's feeling the pain.
He wants to keep playing it, doesn't he? He's got his stick. He wants to stay in. I mean, this is one of the toughest guys. He's just healing from a cut over his eyebrow, a good cut. See that mask? He had another mask just like it. A long time ago, almost a year ago, he got the wires bent in on the right side, and he never got it fixed. He said, no problem. He took a shot in practice that hit right in the dent where the wires had been dented, pushed the whole mask up onto his eyebrow, sliced open his eyebrow, and here he is going to back and play. And I said, you must have hit him where he didn't have any equipment. I should rephrase that. It hit him where he didn't have enough equipment, because there aren't many parts of the body for a goalie that don't have some equipment.
Skip Thayer is out there, the trainer, attending to him. Here's the play. Desjardins. That's the shot, and I think that's what happened. It caught him right in the groin.
And see how he fell right. I was saying to myself, gosh, he lost his angle or his balance or something. Well, he was half dead. That's why he fell, like he was shot.
John Leclerc got to celebrate from a unusual position. He was behind the net after that initial save had been made, and Leclerc gives the team the 2-1 lead. So they're back on top here. Kenny Reggett apparently will stay in. Pittsburgh taking their time here, getting people on the ice. Want to remind you of the National Hockey League coming up on the Deuce. One of the great rivalries in the NHL tomorrow at 7:30. The New Jersey Devils will be traveling to Madison Square Garden, taking on the Rangers. 7:30 Eastern Time Tuesday. 7:30. We'll follow the Devils back here. They'll be in Philadelphia. They are 3-0 against Philly this year, outscoring the Flyers 13-4. So tomorrow and Tuesday, NHL action. Games 1001 and 1002 is what those games will be. Off the face-off, Samuelson's got it. And Reggett back in. Obviously, the Flyers love now to try and get some shots in on Kenny Reggett while he tries to regroup. At the other end, Moro's shot was blocked and save made by Hextall, played back in behind. 11:32 left to go here in the second period. 16-8 the shots in favor of Pittsburgh, but it's Philadelphia that has taken the 2-1 lead back here. Dumped back hard around by Olsen on the far side. Held onto by Sillinger, lost it to Hatcher. Hatcher backs it up behind his own net. It'll be chased down Frederick Olsen. Lots of ice time tonight for Olsen. Samuelson tried to hold it in, could not. Philadelphia will come back in their own end and regroup here. Sillinger along the near side has the other Philadelphia goal now. Leclerc picking up the second. Forbes sent it in, got taken out of the play by Olsen. Hatcher leaves it. Olsen came back to help. Olsen gets it up on the near side. Back on the attack. Straka looking Yager. Yager backhand. Nope. Yager around the net. Hextall's down. Right by. Shot. Score! Straka! Martin Straka. Ron Hextall got caught down on the ice, looking the wrong way. And the game is tied at 2.
Well, we'll see if Ron Hextall overplayed Yager when he was coming around. Jaromir Jagr had the puck bounce over his stick a couple of times. It looked like he wanted to cut in. Here comes the pass. Jaromir Jagr just going to keep on going wide. Right? He was forced wide as he got the puck by Chris Therien. Ron Hextall, see, he overplayed him over there and then lost his balance trying to get back. And then when you're on your knees and kind of sideways to the puck, yeah, Wayne Cashman's upset because Ron Hextall overplayed the first one. And Ron Hextall is as good to me a goaltender as he was in 1987. But the new goalies are percentage goalies. Marty Brodeur, John Van Beesbrook, Patrick Waugh, players like that. Those guys would have patiently just waited for Jaromir Jagr instead of attacking the play. And Ron Hextall attacks the play. That time it cost him. That's his style.
And he's had a great game, but this is continual. The reason people say Philadelphia cannot win a cup with Ron Hextall in net.
Yeah, Gary, they don't remember the ones that you stop. You know, they remember the ones you let in.
Yep, that's exactly right. Rob coming out. Potential breakaway, but blocked along the line. Rozov was open, moving into the zone along the blue. Paul Coffey the other way. 9-14. Straka ties it, his 12th of the year. Played away by Kenny Reggett, but not a very pretty play right there. That one kind of dribbled on through. Yager and Olsen got the assist, 9-14. Congratulations to Straka, his 200th career point with that goal to tie this game up on the 17th shot of the Pens. Tamer had Drews chasing him back into the zone, had to dish that wide. Not out. Brendamore 2-on-1. Dropped it. Drews can't reach it. Brown to help. And Pittsburgh will get it out of there, but just barely.
Boy, that's a great scoring opportunity that just disappeared because the pass to John Drews was in his skates. Rod Brind'Amour doesn't do that very often.
Yager picks up on the deflected chance. Lost again down low to Darby. His shot, side ring it, rebound, deflects near side penalty coming up. A holding call coming. Boy, some turnovers by Pittsburgh in the Philadelphia offensive zone.
Kenny Reagan had to make a couple of really good saves on this last sequence, and he is still getting up slowly. We've gotten word, by the way, from downstairs that he told people he actually got hit in his knee, and then his leg went numb. Well, it must have went numb, but it must have gone numb after the pain subsided. There was one good save, and he had to be pretty agile to get over to the side, but he was really slow getting up. And at the other end, from our U.S. Army goal cam, the Pittsburgh goal, there was Ron Hextall out of his crease. And do not think that it was just an accident that Jaromir Jagr decided to throw it back into the crease. Jaromir Jagr registered immediately that Hextall had come out on the other side, and he had to bet that Hextall was not back in good shape for the shot, and he was right.
Jagr getting an assist now, up to 79 points on the season, taking the scoring lead. Tamer out of there, 10-21. The interference call, power play number 4 now for Philadelphia. A chance for them to get the lead back on the power play opportunity. Sillinger scored a power play goal. Pittsburgh will bring it out shorthanded. Stu Barnes. Barnes dropped it, shot taken, and deflected into the corner by Ron Hextall. They're trying to clear Robert Lang, who's had a lot of chances in this game at the shorthanded, but really not much of a chance to put it in. Down behind the net, Wawrinka gets knocked down. Leclerc over there reaching in. Dug out Brendamore, but held on too long enough by Wawrinka to get a whistle. And there'll be a face-off coming down in the Pittsburgh zone. Game tied 2-2 with 9:11 left to go here in the second period.
No, Marty Straka is one of a number of Penguins who really were taken off the rock pile. I mean, talk about reclamation projects that both Craig Patrick, the GM, and then followed by the coaching staff have done with guys like Marty Straka, Brad Wawrinka. Yuri Slager was playing in Europe last year. Couldn't play for Edmonton in the NHL. Robert Lang, who I've called Long so far this game because he's another guy that changed his name.
From L.A.
Yeah, but these are guys that to me resemble the St. Louis Blues. They're the St. Louis Blues of the East. There's Robbie Brown. He was invited to camp 5 days before camp, signed opening night, and what a job these guys have done.
They are second right now in the Eastern Conference. They're going to win their division, and they are 6th overall in the NHL. So Pittsburgh's going to have home ice advantage for the playoffs. Minute 19 left to go, and the penalty to the Pittsburgh Penguins. 1 for 3 on the power play for the Flyers tonight. They've got a power play here. Coffey got it up wide side. Moving in, Brendamore in the middle. Leclerc down as he tried to find Brendamore in a pass. Sillinger, Leclerc, Brendamore out of the power play unit. Back on top for Coffey. Nienema working on the point. They set up down low with Leclerc right on top in that low slot area. Leclerc, the pass to him, blocked by Slager. Played back up to Brendamore. Brendamore comes back to the point to Coffey. Coffey leaves it down low. Sillinger couldn't handle. Comes around the near side. Good play by Reagan. Got his stick out there and knocked down Leclerc as he went to reach for that puck. Hextall lets it go. Coffey comes back to get it. Power play down to 34 seconds remaining on it. Coffey up from Desjardins there. Kasparaitis collides with him. Kasparaitis puts that one up over the glass, stopping the clock. 8:06 in the period. 28 seconds left to go on the power play.
One of the things the Flyers coaching staff is going to be watching down the stretch is the ice time and the amount of play and fatigue that starts to wear on Eric Desjardins. He's a terrific player. To me, he's one of the 10 best all-around defensemen in the NHL. He plays a ton. The last couple of seasons, he has worn down a bit in the playoffs just because he has played so much. He is not as big as a Scott Stevens. He's not as big as an Adam Foote from Colorado. And he plays big and plays against all the top lines. So they're really going to try to be in the position not to wear him out down the stretch.
They will all get a bit of a break here as Philadelphia comes home tonight to play the first of 6 games at home. Their longest homestand of the year. Desjardins, Barnes was back there, almost traded away. 12 left on the power play for the Flyers. Deflected near side Zubers. Zubers trying to move it up and to wait for help. Wawrinka came back to get it. Brad Wawrinka has picked up a goal here tonight. Center, grab the left side. Rebound deflected wide. Chris Gratton, Kenny Ray. situation now. Robert Lang trying to get it out. Desjardins held it in. Zubras hit by Lang. Grattan moved up. Grattan for Philadelphia. Along the wall. High stick there. Kasparaitis. Now they go at it. Grattan looking at him. Grattan and Kasparaitis have already gone at it once tonight. Exchange glances.
Oh, Chris Tamer finally jumped into the middle of that and decided he wanted a part of it. But it looked like neither one of these guys, Kasparaitis or Grattan, see what's happened here, Gary. 2-2 hockey game. It's turned into a battle for points. A lot of the adrenaline is gone, and nobody wants to take that initial penalty now. So pretty smart restraint by both Kasparaitis and Grattan. But Chris Grattan was absolutely stoned, robbed, cold by Kenny Reagan. Kenny Reagan knew he just had to get the pad out there and hope that it would hit him. He did that. Then he got him with the paddle of the stick. What a night for the goaltenders.
Hi, Sherry. How are you?
Pretty good. Jared and Jess are here for their appointments.
Hi, kids. Dr. Murphy will be with you in just a moment.
Okay, great.
You are big.
We offer the highest quality, state-of-the-art dentistry for you and your family at the office of Dr. Gerald Murphy.
Legend has it that in the Old West, that sound could mean only one thing: a taste with bite. Carlos O'Kelly's Authentic Fajita. We make Carlos fajitas from only the freshest ingredients. Truly a meal that attacks all the senses, just like Carlos used to make. In fact, about the only thing that's changed is the silverware. Carlos O'Kelly's Mexican Cafe. Legendary food, legendary fun.
That is Chris Grattan, who is involved with Kasparaitis before that whistle, and some work being done on his hand and maybe his left shoulder as well as he came off the ice.
Well, might be able to check the left side of his body. Definitely his left arm, wrist, or shoulder, something like that.
Where the play ended along the boards, Kasparaitis came up and gave him that shot. And then he went to the bench and had it looked at. In any event, it looks like he'll just join back in the play. Reagan holds it up behind the net. In this 2-2 game, 7 minutes to go, second period, Jaromir Jagr. An assist tonight for Jagr. Jagr with Francis Terrien on him. Jagr tried to push it off for Francis, tipped away Hextall. He'll hold it on that shot side of the net.
Good defensive play by Chris Terrien. When you've got Jagr coming full speed, it's not just enough to force him wide if you give him the back of the net, because we've already seen what he can do when he comes out the other side if he loses you. So you got to cut him off and try to make sure that he doesn't take the puck behind the net. One tough thing to do. And Eric Desjardins and Chris Terrien have played quite a bit tonight. Wayne Cashman knows he needs a couple of pairs against him, but on 9 of the even strength shifts, Desjardins and Terrien have been out there for 8 of them, and that's exactly what Wayne Cashman, the Flyers coach, wants, as long as he doesn't wear these two guys out, because Jagr has the stamina of somebody very special, very special.
Wayne Cashman watching the face-off coming to the left side here of Hextall. Barnes won it. Jagr the shot. Deflects near side. Off the boards. Held in momentarily here. Up and out of the zone. Pittsburgh will have to get back on side. Back to get it, Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher chased back by Klatt. He drops it off. Francis in the middle for Barnes. Barnes couldn't control it. Off the near Desjardins. Desjardins in behind the net. Sean Bodine giving chase. Bodine looking into the middle. Shot that one through the top of the crease. Near side. Desjardins save made by Reagan. You'll have to hang on. He had Brendamore coming in looking for a rebound. 2-2 game. Brian Engblom.
NHL defensemen live in a complicated world. They have to play one-on-ones all the time, but they also are responsible for the entire play in front of them. And Luke Richardson on his last shift out there had to handle a lot of different scenarios, and it was really difficult for him. As we watch here, he'll be backing up against Ronnie Francis. There's the puck. Richardson looking at the entire field in front of him. But as he backs up, his mind tells him, I got to cover everything. Then he realizes, oh no, it's a one-on-one. Now he spread himself too thin. Look how far apart his legs are. Ronnie Francis is a skilled guy. Richardson is beat. He knows it right there. So does Ronnie Francis. The mind and body have to work together. It's our Speed Stick Ultimate Spotlight.
Common problem in life, getting the mind and body to work together.
Thank you, Brian Grasshopper.
Not only on the ice, but elsewhere. Chris Gratton will move in to take the face-off for Philadelphia, left side of Kenny Regan. Robert Lang will take the draw. For Pittsburgh, Gratton won it, trying to drop it back to the top. Leclaire winds up. That deflected off bodies. Leclaire again. Shot it in. Blocked again. Not out. Coffey shot. That one rips off a skate wide. Coffey got it down low to Gratton. Gratton looking for Leclaire. Leclaire reached in. Had it. Leclaire moved it out in front. Zuber shot. Save. Regan. Rebound wide. Picked up by Hatcher. Great effort by Philadelphia as they got it down low. Kept it right around Kenny Regan for that shift. 5:53 remaining to go. Here in the second period, game is tied at 2. First period, Sillinger of Philadelphia picked up the goal. Pittsburgh, Larenga answered. We've had those kinds of hits all night long. Leclaire picked one up for Philadelphia. Straka for Pittsburgh to tie it here in the second period. Samuelson drawing a crowd here along the near side boards. Leclaire had been involved in the hits in the corner.
Right, John Leclaire's confidence is just, I think it's come back a lot in this game. He's asserted himself physically. He has scored a goal, albeit one from behind the net. But watch what Leclaire does here. There's Gratton with the puck. Now watch Leclaire, one hand on his stick. He says, I got it, Chris. Takes it away from Gratton. Keep watching, one hand on his stick. Robert Lang goes the other way, and he pulled it back around him with one hand on his stick. I mean, what, just a beautiful play. Big man with soft hands. Big man with big hits. Chris Gratton on Darius Kasparaitis again. They're still looking for one another.
Battle along the far side. That time picked up by Tamer here. Tamer clears it out of the zone. Straka off the far side boards. Batted into the zone, but Joe Otto will come back to get it. Rozov was there but couldn't control. Rozov gets back on side. Straka got it in again. Shell Samuelson chased by Ferraro. Samuelson got it around the boards. Philadelphia looking to clear. Drew's got it up, not out. Came right back to him as Ferraro banked it away. Forcing Samuelson deeper into the zone. Up by Richardson. That will clear up. Near side for Drews. Blocked at center. Ferraro to Straka. Straka big blast. Blocked by Samuelson. Flex away and Drews has got it again. Otto's in the middle. Drews trying to feather it in. Tamer was there. Tamer and Drews go at it along the boards. Bump back deeper. Centering pass. Couldn't get it back out in front. Rolls free and Straka will move it out. Martin Straka scoring a goal in this game. Comes with Jágr. Jágr, loose puck. Nobody with him. Jágr moved it in. Jágr shot. Oh, what a move, but it went wide on the short side. Jaromir Jágr had no help. His teammates were changing. Centered again. Barnes wide. Hatcher over to get it. More than once in this game, we have seen Jágr's great individual talent out there on the ice offensively. He can really have people spinning, corkscrewing defensemen into the ice.
Yeah, in general, the Flyers have done a great job of keeping him wide. I mean, that has been one of the keys to their success. If he gets the middle, you got a big problem.
Jágr's shot went nowhere. Deflected up by Sillinger. They can't get it to him. Tamer and Hatcher had it covered. Hatcher to Jágr. Kicked it onto the stick. Jágr waiting. Terrian on him. Lines him up. Good play by Terry. Wasn't going to let him go. Craig Darby cleared that one out. Regan at the other end. Regan lets it go. Wants the icing. Sillinger trying to avoid it, but couldn't. Touch up made with 3:54 to go here in the period.
Well, it doesn't matter if Jaromir Jágr is one-on-one, and I think he's the most dangerous one-on-one player in the NHL, or one-on-two, or one-on-three. Checking him's not just a job. It's an adventure.
Before we built one part for the new Dodge Intrepid, we built the whole car digitally. That way, we were able to test more than 2,000 engines, numerous suspensions, a multitude of seats, and a vast number of headlamps. The result is 1 in a million. The new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again. Intrepid is one of Car and Driver's 10 best.
Good day, eh? As you can see, me and my brother has a taste for real adventure, eh? Oh no, we lost one! What an idiot! Winch here! Whoa! Here! No way! You're just trying to slow me down! I got it!
Philadelphia came into this season one of the very heavy favorites with a chance at the Stanley Cup. They've got to be concerned about this number, what they've done against the elite teams of the NHL, 1-8-1.
I mean, when you win 1 out of 10 against the 5 top teams in the NHL, until a while ago, the Flyers were one of those teams, a short while ago, but they're not any longer, and they can't beat the teams ahead of them. So that has to be a disturbing stat for Wayne Kaplan.
They know pretty much, unless they really take a dive here, they're going to finish third in the East and will have home ice. That's just the way it's going to end up, as New Jersey's going to win one division and Pittsburgh will win the other, and Philadelphia will be seeded third, barring a real disastrous finish. But they're tempting in that department, having won only 4 of the last 13 games. Sent in wide of the net. Inema came back in to get it. Up for Zubris on the near side. This game is tied at 2-2. Back-to-back games for these two clubs. Pittsburgh winning at home yesterday 6-4. Trying to get back-to-back wins and end an 0-for-10 streak in games here in Philadelphia. Picked away along the near side by Hatcher in his own end. Hatcher moved it up along the wall. Philadelphia trying to hold it in offensively. Won't be able to. Just jammed out the center. Pace of the game slowed down. Obviously, it almost had to. The way these teams went at it for about the first half. 2:54 left to go here in the second period. Talking about how Philadelphia has lost ground of late. Take a look at this.
Well, we're going back to January 23rd, which isn't that long ago when you consider that the Olympic break fell in there between January 23rd and now. Flyers in New Jersey were tied for top spot in the Atlantic Division. Today, as we speak, the Flyers are 14 points behind New Jersey. That drop-off occurred in only 13 games. They dropped more than a point a game.
And a lot of that has been their offense, which has not been able to generate the numbers that they needed. Bob Clark, their GM, who made all kinds of moves in the offseason, of course, to get the people here that they thought would make them a winner. Luke Richardson, one of the big names, brought in. Gratton brought in. And, of course, get Lindros signed up for the long-term deal. Will it be enough?
And that number that we just showed you, the standings, I mean, that's not hasn't helped the Flyers. That the New Jersey Devils, let's not forget, have been just like a machine, an awesome hockey team.
Almost unbeatable the way they're playing right now. Chris Gratton moved in. Good play to free that puck up. Centering pass blocked and deflected back into the corner. Alexander Daig trying to get it out. Daig has been a huge disappointment here. 15 games, he has not picked up a goal with his team. He's had 9 assists. He hasn't had a goal in 22 games, and he was expected to be a goal scorer in the National Hockey League. He'll still have time to get it done, but it has not yet happened for him. Ian Moran moved that out of there. Pittsburgh will change it up behind the plate. Desjardins up for the Flyers. Desjardins, the wide side dump into the corner. Up the boards, Wilkinson, not out, banged away. Sillinger had it, lost it, turning, Platt, lost it. Francis battle with Forbes, got it away to Yager. Jaromir Yager turning into the end. Good aerial pass to Tamer. Tamer got it into the middle, but can't move it into the zone. Desjardins back out. Yager avoiding the check along the near side of Forbes. Couldn't get through the two. Francis banged it away. Francis, Sillinger, and Yager on this first line. Platt's got it. Dumped it off into the middle. Forbes open momentarily. Forbes goes with Hatcher. Hatcher makes him part of the wide side plexiglass. Picked up by Platt. Open shot. Save Reagan. Rebound batted up in the air by Forbes. Reagan has it and will hang on. Our Visa storyline here on National Hockey Night from Philadelphia. Stu Barnes missed a penalty shot. Hextall picking up his first career penalty shot save in 5 chances. Combined PIMs for the night, and Lindros the scratch with a concussion suffered yesterday.
And our Visa replays, we go back to yesterday and the hit on Eric Lindros delivered by Darius Kasparaitis. Flyers team physician Dr. Jeff Hartzell has said that it's a grade 2 concussion. Usually that's about a week out of the lineup, but the Flyers also pointed out that Eric has had a previous concussion some years ago, so that might put the time closer to 2 weeks. And you know how these things go. That's what we thought about Paul Correa when he first got nailed by Gary Suter.
How about this for the irony, though? That team doctor, Charles Burke, yesterday was in Florida taking Brett Lindros, Eric's brother, to a center in Florida because of his concussion.
The Penguins doctor,
delivered
yeah.
Brett there, came back home to the game to cover the game, and Eric Lindros picked up a concussion on that day. So the two Lindroses now have had their problems with concussions, and right now, as with all these concussion situations, all they can do is rest and wait to see on the field. We know from Paul Correa's experience that can be very serious. Correa continues to struggle just trying to feel good, much less play a game. Paul Coffey cleared it up into the middle. Zubris on the tip, pass away to Leclerc. Leclerc almost had his head down too long.
That looked almost identical. The hit, the impact wasn't as big. That's exactly the same place in the ice that Eric Lindros got it yesterday. And you know that John LeClair was kind of involved in that yesterday because he was screening. He was screening out Eric Lindros so he couldn't see Kasparaitis coming. And John LeClair just got his head up as Kasparaitis was coming at him.
And Mick Magoo gets Chris Gratton on a slashing call here with 54 seconds left in the period. Pittsburgh's going to go on the power play in this 2-2 game. Slashing at 19:05 on Gratton.
Now, Barry Melrose said, play it tough, play it hard, but inflict the damage by keeping your sticks down. And it's not what Chris Gratton did. Same part of the ice as yesterday. We just showed you those replays. Eric Lindros and Darius Kasparaitis. The puck is in his skates, but he got his head up, and Darius Kasparaitis wasn't coming across as much as he was waiting for him. But boy, that was an identical spot on the ice surface.
You got to keep your head up when anybody's out there, but especially Kasparaitis. Gratton gets the slashing. 19:05 power play for Pittsburgh. They've gone 1 for 6. Flyers 1 for 4. So the Pens get their 7th power play opportunity of the game. Brought back in by Hatcher. Hatcher dumped it low. Sean Bodine gave chase. Barnes over there with it. Pittsburgh would love to get one of those deadly last minute of a period goals. Francis trying to hold it in. Couldn't. Cleared it up. Hatcher blocked it. And out of the zone. Good play by Sean Bodine, who went diving to get it. Frederick Olesen back in his own end. 20 seconds to go in the period. Yager had centered it and Elijah puck right off the back of his skates. Platt sends it the other way. Yager turns into the middle and Francis collide. A good pass by Yager to Francis. Francis moves it in with Barnes. Barnes shooting side. Barnes tip. Yager tried to reach, couldn't get it. Almost. Not quite. Hextall was there to block it away. Centered by Barnes. Interflected. Cleared back out. And that's the end of the period. Game tied at 2-2. Hextall facing 17 shots. The other end, 13 have been put up by the Flyers. Darius Kasparaitis, the marked man out there tonight, but he is not backed off. This one tied going to the third period. We are in game 1000 on ESPN and ESPN2, and we are going to have our top 10 moments from those previous 999 games during this, our second intermission. First, though, let's take you back to our fabulous twosome. Who's got the longer hair, Linda or Barry?
Barry.
Barry.
Thank you, Gary. I'll tell you, if Pittsburgh wins, he's hilarious. No, I mean that. But if Pittsburgh wins, they'll be just 5 points behind the Devils for first in the East. Most say Pittsburgh's success due to their defense. Do you agree, Bear?
That's part of it, certainly. They got a great defense and made a lot of changes, but the bottom line is there are a lot of good defensive teams out there, and if you can't score, the most you can hope for is a 0-0 tie. What sets this defensive system apart is the 3 guys, Yager, Barnes, and Francis. These guys have scored 74 goals. They're all about a +20. They can score a lot of goals in high-traffic areas, and they're good defensively. So that's what sets this team apart from other good defensive teams.
Barry, 2 other games coming up and going on tonight, and we'll have highlights of that on this new Dodge Intermission Report. Among the games, the Dallas Stars looking to go 4-0 against Phoenix this year and send the Coyotes to their 6th straight loss.
Today, we have more computing power than the entire industry had when we designed the first Dodge Intrepid. We have the power to digitally blueprint, assemble, and test a car, to make sure things fit right and work well, to make a quieter, roomier, quicker car. We have the power to change. The new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again. As shown, less than 25.4. Well equipped, around 20.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? How?
Travel with Joseph Van Oss Photo Safari to Kenya's land of the Maasai.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
And you'll see a culture and a wildlife like no other on earth.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
But bring your Visa card.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? Give it an American Express card.
Because this Photo Safari doesn't take American Express.
Wait till they hear this in Nairobi.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
I'm Bob McKenzie. This is my brother Doug.
How's it going, eh?
And we're having a Molson with Hall of Famer Guy Lafleur, eh?
Yeah, Lafleur, that's like a real hockey name. What's that mean, eh? Like the wolf?
Or the lion, eh?
No, Lafleur means the flower. Well, like a tough flower, eh? Like a dogwood or a snapdragon, eh?
Roses have thorns, eh?
They're tough. You're tough.
So we're breaking up.
Sorry.
Well, we both love nuggets.
And I love that about you.
Because they're tender and juicy.
The thing is, you're sweet and sour, and I'm honey mustard.
Don't look at me. I'm barbecue.
Wendy's 99-cent nuggets, the best bet in chicken.
Metal bars, designed to save your butt. Metal bars, designed to save your skin. Introducing the revolutionary Schick Protector, designed with super sharp blades wrapped in ultra-thin safety wires. And a full pivoting head for incredible closeness. There's no safer shave in the world. Hey, safe feels better. Schick Protector, the feel of smart design.
We're in between periods, a 2-2 hockey game between the Flyers and Pens. Glad you're with us for the new Dodge Intermission Report. Linda Cohn with you, along with Barry Melrose. Just what the Coyotes needed heading into their big showdown with the Dallas Stars to lose their leading scorer, Keith Tkachuk, to a groin injury. Could they make up the difference in a loss of a guy like Tkachuk? A scoreless game in the second period, Mike Modano. The save by Hobby Boone and then more. Phoenix on the attack, Oleg Tverdovsky to Roenick. Stoned by Eddie the Eagle Belfour. It's a scoreless game still. And then later in the second period, 3-on-2 for Dallas. Nieuwendyk to Ludwig and Hobby Boone, another save. Still scoreless game. And then late in the second period, look who's in all alone. Patty Verbeek, he's still got the wheels, and he's going to test Nikolai Hobby Boone on the breakaway. And Hobby Boone makes the great saves. 1-of-17 for Hobby Boone in a 0-0 tie after 2, Bear.
I'm going to give you a different Tkachuk theory. Tkachuk's out. Everyone knows the leader's not in the lineup. Coyotes have played their best game in about 6. That shows so much for the superstar in the lineup.
All right, Carolina trying to grab that 8th and final playoff spot. They're 5 points behind Ottawa. Look who's back. Teemu Solani for Anaheim. Would it help? 37 seconds after taking a 1-0 lead. Carolina strikes again. Martin Gelinas putting the Hurricane up 2-0. On his 9th of the year. Then to the second period we go. Carolina keeping the pressure on Hebert. Sean Hill, the blast. Hebert saves it and covers up. Hebert keeping the Ducks close, but they still trail. Boy, here's a shock. They don't have a goal, Barry.
The Ducks are weak mentally and physically right now. I really think it's up to Hebert to turn this team around, steal a couple wins for them, and get everybody feeling better about this club.
So back to the Flyers and the Penguins. Eric Lindros, we found out tonight, could be out at least 2 weeks due to that concussion, courtesy of Darius Kasparaitis. You know, Bobby Clark, the GM of the Flyers, always criticizes the rough play toward his star players, but even Clark said, clean hit.
It was a kind of hit that if you're a hitter, you dream about this every day of your life. A guy coming across the blue line with his head down, you stand up and drill him. Right there, Lindros has got the puck in his feet. Kasparaitis stands up and drills him. The only problem I have with it, Philadelphia must start initiating physical play instead of retaliating to what the other team does. They do that against the Islanders. They're doing it against Pittsburgh. Initiate the physical play yourself. Use those big bodies. Become the hardest, scariest team in the NHL to play against, and I can guarantee you'll like the results.
Okay, so maybe 2 weeks he will be out. Yep. Speaking of the Flyers, they are tied with the Pittsburgh Penguins at the Coors State Center. Tied at 2 thanks to Martin Straka's even-up goal.
Tonight's second intermission report is presented by the new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything again.
First, we built a digital model of the new Dodge Intrepid. Then, to test it, a virtual world. We ran crash tests in a virtual safety lab, tuned the suspension on a twisting virtual road, refined the climate control in a virtual cabin. By the time we tested Intrepid in the real world, it was virtually perfect. The new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything again. As shown, less than 25.4. Well equipped, around 20.
It's not every day you get a babysitter and 20 pounds of goalie gear.
But the kids love him.
Now that's a slip.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Unable to stop Theo Fleury,
Let's skate green.
goaltender Adam Roth is dismissed from the NHL. He becomes a babysitter.
Jack and Jill.
He has a unique interpretation of the bedtime story.
And broke his crown, thanks to a particularly nasty check by Theo Fleury with his Nike skates, huh? He's only 5'6". You're practically 5'6". He exposed the weak club hand. Wait. Can you say goaltender turn nanny? Fleury? Oh, Fleury! Yeah, I still got it. And Jill came tumbling after.
He's no Mother Goose.
And who's this Fleury guy?
In today's working world, you've got to swim with the sharks, dance with the devils. Don't sweat it. Protect yourself with new Speed Stick Ultimate with antibacterial odor protection. Kills odor, protects guys.
I remember the day he came to our farm.
just before harvest time. He told me about something that never been done before. How soybeans like mine were now being used for a new kind of cooking oil. Seems the folks who make Crisco had come up with Olean, an oil that fries up snacks without adding any fat or calories, make them taste especially good. And now I see what I'm part of, and it makes me feel good.
Coming soon, new fat-free Olean, a good place to start.
Hello, I'm Netboy live from ESPN Sports Zone via XPG 46 Digital CompuCam. Just wanted to let you know that the Sports Zone Fantasy Baseball League is happening here now. That's ESPN.com, so don't miss it. Eisen's picks, Vizquella's short.
The new Dodge Intermission Report continues with this reminder about SportsCenter 11 Eastern. Latrell Sprewell sits down for a Sunday conversation with David Aldridge, join Kenny Mayne and Rich Eisen. You know, tonight we're broadcasting our 1,000th NHL game, right? Well, yesterday Wayne Gretzky scored his 1,000th NHL goal. You can watch Gretzky and the Rangers play the Devils on the Deuce tomorrow. Third period coming up of a 2-2 game.
Because in 30 minutes, I can hack into your computer system and bring your entire company to its knees. So while you're watching me, who's watching your network?
Postseason passion tips off in the NIT. First round action heats up the hardwood, and top teams light up the scoreboard. NIT first round at 8 to 10 and 12:30 Wednesday on ESPN.
In 1993, we changed everything. Dodge became the new Dodge, and the new Dodge became Intrepid. Now we're changing the way cars are created. Today's new Intrepid is the world's first car designed, assembled, and proven on computers, enabling a degree of precision never before possible. Welcome to the world of the new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again.
Metal bars, designed to save your butt. Metal bars, designed to save your skin. Introducing the revolutionary Schick Protector, designed with super sharp blades wrapped in ultra-thin safety wires. And a full pivoting head for incredible closeness. There's no safer shave in the world. Hey, safe feels better. Schick Protector, the feel of smart design.
It's the way we welcome the sun with 35 sunblock. The way the best water now mostly comes in bottles. It's the way we make time for exercise and like to enjoy reading. Today, more and more people are finding reasons to live healthier. That's why Subway offers 7 subs, each under 6 grams of fat. Because when you're through surfing, you might want to put on a bathing suit. Subway, it's the way a sandwich should be.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Hate me because in 30 minutes I can hack into your computer system and bring your entire company to its knees. So while you're watching me, who's watching your network?
Well, we too wish every night was National Hockey Night, but whenever we can get it to you, we certainly are happy to do it. This, of course, is our 1,000th game, the commemorative puck that was given out here tonight. Game 1,000 being played, and a good one worthy of the cause. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement back here with you, and certainly when you've had that many games, there are lots of memories and big moments.
Well, we got a chance to vote in the top 10 moments of our 1,000 games. I got to tell you that the first couple were easy for me to place 1 and 2, but after that, I wish we could have voted on about 25 of them because there have been so many incredible games that we've done. More to come, obviously, but this piece coming up is going to be something.
Yeah, this is kind of fun, as we're going to show you the top 10 moments in the first 999 games as selected by our broadcasters.
Anderson following up once more. Big drive, score! This is the one that should bring the Stanley Cup back to Edmonton.
Shohei Juno in double overtime. Save! Tenori went down again. That's score! It's over!
McCarty draws. McCarty in. McCarty scores! The Detroit Red Wings on the Stanley Cup 2-0. now think the emotions are running high here tonight. Think again. A night of bigness.
It didn't go in. How did that not go in the net?
Ewing Cruz shot.
This was headlines on all the sports sections in New York. Mark Messier said, "We will win Game 6.
Do you believe it? Do you believe it? He said we will win Game 6. He has just picked up the hat trick. McSorley to Gretzky. Scores! He did it! He did it! The greatest goal scorer in National Hockey League history is Wayne Gretzky.
Turns out in front, shot blocked off by Hatcher. Turnaround, LaFontaine score! Pat LaFontaine! 3-2 Islanders.
1.6 away from the cup. Pavel Bure.
It's over! The Rangers win the cup! The Rangers win the cup! The curse is over! They've done it!
The top 10 moments from our first 999 games, this being 1,000. Not bad.
Can't wait to see what the next 1,000 have, because we'll be adding to that regularly. I'll tell you what, the first period of this hockey game tonight would be right up there as far as all-around action. I mean, it's fantastic.
This game has been worthy of game 1001, and we've got a period left to go, and when we come back, game yet to be decided. It's 2-2.
Legend has it that in the Old West, that sound could mean only one thing: a taste with bite. Carlos O'Kelly's Authentic Fajita. We make Carlos fajitas from only the freshest ingredients. Truly a meal that attacks all the senses, just like Carlos used to make. In fact, about the only thing that's changed is the silverware. Carlos O'Kelly's Mexican Cafe. Legendary food, legendary fun.
Start with the right finish at Menard. Minwax polyurethane gives wood a tough protective coating that withstands the toughest of use. Available in 3 finishes, $3.93 a quart after rebate. Improve your home with premium vinyl siding from ABTco. It features lifetime warranty, installs easily, and never needs painting. Double 4-inch siding is $2.72 each. Menards and ABTco are on your side.
Save big money at Menards.
Just log on to ESPN.com and enter the tournament challenge presented by Pizza Hut on ESPN Sports Zone. Fill out your brackets, and you can win a trip for 2 to the 1999 Men's Championship. The tournament challenge on ESPN Sports Zone. Enter now.
Welcome back. National Hockey Night. 1 period left to go as Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are tied at 2-2. Both goaltenders, Kenny Reggett for Pittsburgh and Ron Hextall at the other end for Philadelphia, have made some spectacular saves here in the first 2 periods of this game.
Former battery mates. They both played together here in Philadelphia, Kenny Reggett and Ron Hextall.
Darius Stratton's still in the box.
And Darius Kasparaitis is still alive and well and breathing and ready to dig in for another 20 minutes. Boy, this is one tough guy.
Pittsburgh is on the power play, an opportunity to take the lead here in this game, as they'll have 1:06 remaining on the advantage. This is the 7th power play of the game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And we're underway here in the 3rd period. Joe Lotto for the shorthanded unit sends it in. Kenny Reggett went back to get it. Played there by Olesen. Olesen behind his own net, looking out. And they'll start it up here on the power play. 17-13 the shots in favor of Pittsburgh. Carrying behind the net for the Flyers. Jagr trying to block it, can't. Came back out through center. Pittsburgh will get back on side. Olesen dumped it off wide side. Philadelphia changing up their penalty killing unit. Stu Barnes with a penalty shot denied earlier, moved it into Jagr. Jagr deep with that one. Got it away to Hatcher. Down low. Francis through the middle. Shot. Barnes. Hextall over to get it. Tip back out in front. Jagr shot. Batted up in the air and over the glass. Pretty good action right there.
Yeah, well, that's the Penguins' bread and butter play on their power play. When they don't have somebody in the middle out in front of Ron Hextall, they like it to get down low, quickly across in front. Got a right-hand shot on one side and Stu Barnes, and a left-hand shot and Ronnie Francis on the other side. There's Francis with that patented play that they try right through the crease. Stu Barnes had to jam him, hit him in the skates. Otherwise, I think he had, even with a sharp angle, he had one. Stu Barnes got a pretty good eye, and he's got a ton of confidence this season because he has set career highs in goals and points. Stu Barnes has. A pretty good play there by Mike Sillinger to get to the puck before Jaromir Jagr did. And these two guys just kind of go together. Ronnie Francis has assisted on 105 of Jágr's 294 career goals for a big percentage.
And Francis, 7th all-time in assists, 994, 10th all-time in points. And continues to be very productive. A free agent after this year is going to be re-signed with the Pens. Francis shot and a save made. Batted out of the zone by Otto. The owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins has made it clear that they want Ronnie Francis back. They know it's going to cost them a lot of money. But Roger Moreno has said is guaranteed Francis will be back. After this final year of his contract, he said, we're going to sign him back up. He'll be a Pittsburgh Penguin, and that's where Francis wants to stay. Here's Jaromir Jágr. Jágr turning back up on the far side, leaves it for Hatcher. Knocked it down. Tried to center, but it rolled to the boards. He got pinned up over there with Leclerc. Jágr's got it back. Penalty is over. Well, Philadelphia kills that one off, and back to a 5-on-5 setting now after that 7th power play for Pittsburgh to start this period. Kasparaitis continues to draw the boos every time he touches that puck. In behind the net, Richardson came back to get it. That'll be an icing call just underway here in the 3rd on National Hockey Night.
You know, John Leclerc looked like a shoe-in earlier in this season to end up with his 3rd consecutive 50-goal season. But after slowing down in the last 18 games with only 5 goals before tonight when he got one, right now he's on pace for just about 50. Haven't been able to get the cycle going down low that often, but in the first period it was so obvious. When the Flyers get the play down low around the net, and when they are willing to dive into the trenches head first and fight it out, that is when their size and their strength are an advantage. When they don't do that, their size and strength are generally a disadvantage because it becomes an open skating game.
And they have not played this kind of hockey of late since the Olympic break, actually, playing this tough. And they're going to have to tough this one out here in the 3rd period with it still 2-2. Chris Stratton on the faceoff lost that one to Ron Francis, one of the all-time outstanding draw men in the game. Along the near side boards, Gratton the shot. That one wide short side. And Waranka's got a goal tonight, batted it away. Ian Moran trying to clear it up on the high flip out through center. Played away again. Danny Nienema. Nienema's pass blocked. He gets it himself. He's out there with Paul Coffey. Coffey on the near side for Leclerc. Tip pass into the middle. Intercepted. Robert Land goes back through. Nienema was right there to get it. It's onside to Leclerc. Leclerc fakes. Leclerc moving in. He's shot off the glove of Kenny Wright. Zubras on the far side. Ian Moran picks up the puck. Moran double teamed over there. Leclerc reaching in, got it. Leclerc and Kasparaitis do battle. Puck freed up behind the net. Leclerc working in front, tried to tip. Reggett a save. Reggett couldn't haul it in, dropped it off. And Lang picks it up. And Pittsburgh will be able to move it out of the zone. Tipped away to center. Coffey back to get it early on. That ice tilting in favor of Philadelphia as they put the offensive heat on early here in the first 3 minutes of the 3rd. Coffey forced back by Martin Straka. Back up on the near side to Sean Bodine. His pass deflects away from Brendamore. And the Pens clear it right back in. Just underway here in the 3rd. National Hockey Night, a good one. These teams in this back-to-back affair go at it. With Philadelphia, Sillinger, Leclerc have scored the goal. Waranka and Straka have picked them up for Pittsburgh. And the Pens making the line change, get a 2-on-2. Straka the shot, save Hextall. Hextall drew it back in away from Samuelson. Cleared it off the near side dasher and out to Brendamore. Brendamore leaves it back. Bodine with it. Bodine being chased Tyler Wright. Drove him into the boards on the far side, but held off. He could have bent him in two over there, but backed away from that when he got on the boards. Ronnie Francis back out on the ice. Francis with Jágr on the right. Francis moves in. Francis will dump it in over Jágr's stick. Back to get it Desjardins. Desjardins, far side Barnes. Barnes left it behind the net. Desjardins on the intercept. Moves it up to Klatt. Klatt looking for Forbes. Forbes over the red. Forbes drops it, hoping for help and got screen. Moving in. Klatt shot. Rugged blocker save. Colin Forbes picks it up. Forbes back out on top. Terry and his shot deflected off legs. Pittsburgh cleared it out. Jágr trying to break. Desjardins saw him, and that shot back in offside. 4 minutes in the period number 3. Flyers and Pens 2 apiece.
Before we built one part for the new Dodge Intrepid, we built the whole car digitally. That way, we were able to test more than 2,000 engines, numerous suspensions, a multitude of seats, and a vast number of headlamps. The result is 1 in a million. The new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again. Intrepid is one of Car and Driver's 10 best.
Here they are, sir. The new Taco Bell take a shot at the Final Four cups. What do you think?
Brilliant.
I just wish they did something.
Did something, sir?
Yeah, did something.
Introducing Color Change Cups. Add cold liquid and it changes colors every time. And with 2 game pieces, you double your chances of winning one of millions of great prizes.
Should we give him mouth to mouth?
Don't even think about it.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
ESPN's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Taco Bell. There's something inside you that's hungry for Taco Bell. Want some? By Gap Jeans. And by the new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again.
Pittsburgh has the second-best road record in the National Hockey League as the Pens are 17-9-7. Away from the Igloo, outscoring the opposition 89-72 this year on the road. They've been a very good road team. Very decent team at home, 7th best at home. Brought back in offside by Barnes that time. That will be whistled. We're going to check in with Brian downstairs. Brian England.
One-on-ones happen all over the ice, Gary. In our Speed Stick Ultimate Spotlight, we're going to take a look at Jaromir Jagr and these one-on-one situations. His timing is terrific as he'll step into a loose puck, a freebie if you want to call it that. But his real one-on-one will start when Eric Desjardins comes in from the right. Jagr actually has his back to him, but oh, he knows where he is. And his ability to control the puck in traffic is terrific as he goes around him. Desjardins has committed himself away from his own net. There's the puck. Once Desjardins goes fishing and misses it, he knows he's toast. So does Jagr.
You know, the interesting thing on that one, too, Jagr did a complete 360 and still knew what was going on around him, still controlled the puck and made the play.
Back on top, Desjardins. His shot deflected in the high slot. Moved back out by Barnes, and this is where Jaromir Jagr gets real tough. He has 8 game-winning and 2 game-tying goals in the clutch. Number 68, about as good as they get. Jagr forced back by Forbes. Game tied at 2-2, 19-15. The shots in favor of the Pens. Hatcher leaves it. Philadelphia will change it up. Looking for Jagr in the middle. That one was behind him. Terrien on the intercept. Terrien moves up for the Flyers. Chris Terrien. Blue line chance. Left it. Shot. Kicked away by Reggett. On the near side, Leclerc. Leclerc drops it back out onto the point. Gratton a shot and a save made. Kenny Reggett with a save on a quick wrist shot by Gratton from that left point.
Through a crowd, too.
Gratton has got a big blast when he winds up, but he's also got a pretty darn good wrist shot. He gets it off with some umph on it with not much windup.
Yep, just a matter of making sure that it gets off his stick. And you can see that early in the season, the first 16 games, only 7 points for Chris Gratton. But that is when the spotlight of all of the millions of dollars that he got to come here was scalding his skin. I mean, boy, was he under the microscope. But slowly but surely, the lights dimmed down a little bit. He's picked up 40 points in the last 44 games. That's darn good.
He set career highs last year in just about everything offensive, including the 62 points, on a pace this year for 64 after that tough start. Ian Moran's pass is blocked away at center. Flyers and Pitt doing battle here in this 2-2 game. Kasparaitis behind the net. Gratton lines him up. They've met a couple of times. Gratton missed on that check. Kasparaitis was able to turn away. Icing call coming up here. Paul Coffey back on the touch-up. That'll bring the face-off back to the other end. Jaromir Jagr, leading scorers, picked up an assist here in this game, and we're going to check in with Linda Cohn. Linda.
Gary, thanks. The new Dodge takes us to the pond. Mighty Ducks get on the board against Carolina, courtesy of Ruslan Saleh with his 5th goal of the year. It beats Trevor Kidd. Guy Bear left this game, by the way, with a shoulder sprain. Stalenkov now in, gentlemen.
Boy, the injuries keep piling up. We will see the Mighty Ducks next Sunday on our National Hockey Night broadcast, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. And Taylor Solani back in action for the Mighty Ducks against Forsberg and the Colorado Avalanche next Sunday. Hope you'll join us. Thanks for being with us here tonight in Philadelphia. Face-off coming to the left side of Kenny Reggett. Brendamore lost that one as it's dumped back into the corner. Off the face-off win that time by Martin Straka. Pittsburgh starting out of their own zone. Philadelphia keeping the heat on with that forecheck, forcing the long pass up ice. Yanni Neiman will come back with another icing call here on Pittsburgh with 14:28 remaining. We've got a report from TSN in Canada tonight that Wayne Cashman will be fired tomorrow. Now, we heard rumors before tonight's game here in Philadelphia that he might have been fired before this game. Bob Clark, the GM upstairs watching TSN in Canada, has reported tonight that Cashman will be fired. There has clearly been a a changing of pages here, Bill, between the GM Bob Clark and Coach Wayne Cashman.
No, Bob has come out and said, listen, it's up to Wayne Cashman to get his team prepared to play. I mean, there's been no ringing endorsement for Wayne Cashman, that's for sure. Not even close.
And he's in just his first year as a head coach, remember. He came here to much acclaim as a player's coach. Dumped out in front, so that's a report that TSN had. We heard the rumors here tonight, but could not get anyone, obviously, to substantiate those rumors if, in fact, they're true, and we don't know them.
Well, and Gary, TSN is also reporting that the replacement for Wayne Cashman will be none other than St. Louis Blues assistant Roger Nielsen.
The veteran coach who's been around, including the New York Rangers. Well, we'll see. That's the news. That's going to happen. You would expect it will come pretty soon after this game tonight.
Wow.
Wait, save made by Reggett on a deflection in on him.
Gary, apparently the Blues have confirmed that Roger Nielsen is no longer a part of their organization. So it may make sense. Yeah.
Dump back to center to Yager. Yager leaves it in the middle of Francis. Tip back in and out. Played away by Hatcher. He's got to wait for Pittsburgh to get back on side. This Philadelphia team, as we said, not living up to expectations of late, winning only 4 of their last 13. Down low, Barnes. Shot save made by Hextall. Cleared up Richardson, not out of the zone. Point blast again. Hextall knocking it away. Francis diving. Could not get to it on that shot by Olsen. Originally taken from the point. Forbes will clear it in. Into the corner. Chase down. Good bump put on by Klatt. Klatt centered, rolled in front. Backhander. Saved by Reggett. Suinger, who's got a goal, trying to pick that one up. Not quite. It remains 2-2.
Hey, Fix, check the number in the corner of your lineup card. See if you have the number.
You know, the real me is pretty basic. I'm even a little practical. Like a while back, I noticed I had some flakes. So naturally, I started using Head & Shoulders. It helps keep the flakes away. And if it leaves my hair looking like this, why mess with a good thing?
Who's tough enough? Strong enough? Powerful enough to protect the National Hockey League? New Speed Stick Ultimate with antibacterial odor protection. Kills odor, protects guys.
I'm Menon.
You sign a lot of autographs?
Oh, yeah, you?
They ask me to bend stuff a lot.
I can see that. What?
It's Lois. She's in trouble.
Did you look through that building?
Well, kind of. It's glass. Lois!
Superman, I've forgotten my wallet.
I can't carry money in this. I'm powerless.
I'm not.
My hero.
You can do more with the American Express card.
Could you? For my kid.
Well, certainly an ironic situation now with the news reported, not confirmed, that Wayne Cashman is going to be fired after this game. The PR director, Joe Klug, went in to talk to Bob Clark. I'm sure Klug, he's seeing the game, our broadcast here, and I'm sure he heard it. And he went in and talked to Clark, telling him, I'm sure, what we were saying.
Well, if it is true, then it will happen tonight.
Yeah.
If it isn't,
they play here at home Tuesday against New Jersey. We'll have that game on the Deuce for you. They play against the Devils here Tuesday night. If Nielsen, in fact, takes the job, it will be his 7th head coaching job in the NHL. Toronto, Buffalo, Vancouver, LA Rangers, Florida, and Philadelphia. If it happens, we understand Bob Clark has said it is not true. That's the response of Bob Clark. He says it is not true. Shot deflected up in the air. Meanwhile, there's a game going on. In the corner, batted away. Kasparaitis tied up with LeClaire. LeClaire drops it back up on top. Toppy drops it. Shot on. Deflected into the corner. LeClaire took a high stick, and he goes down. Kenny Reggett. I think it was the goaltender's stick that caught him.
I think that
went by.
And I think Mick Magoo pointed at Kenny Reggett when he was making the call. John LeClaire saying, come on, baby, bleed. Bleed for me.
Watch the goaltender's stick as LeClaire went through the top of the crease.
What game John LeClaire has played. I mean, he's just attacked the trenches. He has been right here for this entire game, right in front of Kenny Reggett, all over the place. All did not with Kenny Reggett's stick, but I don't know if we can call that intentional by Kenny Reggett.
That's a tough call. Except Reggett knew he was coming.
Sure, and you could let up on the stick, but then in a game like this, who's going to let up?
So Kenny Reggett will be called for a double minor. A 4-minute power play for Philadelphia.
Oh, boy. And now remember, the Flyers' power play had just been absolutely lame. They got 2 power play goals against the Penguins yesterday in Pittsburgh. They've got 1 of their goals here on the power play, 1 of their 2 on the power play. So this, I mentioned that Kevin Constantine's guys bend but don't break. This will be the test.
Philadelphia was 0 for 17 at home on the power play coming into this game. They have scored 1 tonight. They are 9th overall in the NHL on the power play, 1 for 4, but only 2 shots. Power play number 5 here in the first of the 2-minute minors. So a 2-2 game with 12:17 left in the third. Kenny Regan watching. Coffey with a face-off back to Yanni Neiman. A power play for Philadelphia lost control. Short-handed. Knocked down. Martin Straka trying to move. Coffey deflected. Great play by Straka to get that out of the air and on the stick. Tamer's got it back. Sends it out. Rolls underneath Sillinger's stick. Yanni Neiman will come back to get it. Philadelphia's on the power play, led by John LeClair's 11 power play goals. Lindros, of course, out tonight, has 8 power play goals for the Flyers. Barry Slager on the penalty-killing unit finds daylight. And true to Lombardi's request, goes to it. Held up behind the net. Hextall holding and back to get it Neiman.
And he had time to go to it. The Flyers, you know, it's so crucial when you dump the puck in that you have speed going the right way. The Flyers had none that last dump in.
Desjardins sends it back in behind the net. Played around the boards. Ian Moran over there trying to get it out paid for it. Terrien leveled him. Good check. Terrien saw him and Ian Moran took the chance. Wanted to pay the price trying to get it out. He didn't, but he batted it up in the air. Desjardins back over to Terrien. Terrien to LeClair. Sent right back out of the zone. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia will change up on their specialty units. A 4-minute power play. 2:49 left on it. Philadelphia back out of their own zone. Chris Gratton has come out. Desjardins has brought it up. It's dumped in. Good jump by Zubris as he went right over the stick of the defender. Ronnie Francis with a 9-iron. Got it himself. Takes the second shot and doesn't get it out on either. Regan back behind the net. Played there by Wilkinson. Wilkinson up, and that does clear the zone. Hextall coming back to get it. 2:27 remaining on this 4-minute advantage. Big chance here for Philadelphia in this 2-2 game. Paul Coffey moving. Coffey near side LeClair. LeClair, goal tonight, 39 on the year. LeClair trying to wrap it around, couldn't get it there. Blocked by Hatcher. Taken by Gratton. LeClair, the return pass. LeClair poke checked away by Regan. Out for Gratton, blocked by Straka. Back behind the net, LeClair. Cylinder. LeClair. LeClair looking at nobody in the middle. LeClair down, takes a shot. Blocked and knocked away by Straka. Yanni Neiman steps up to hold it in. He'll come back to the right point. Pittsburgh pretty much back in the box here. Gratton lost it off his skate. It's still in the zone. Straka clears it out. Pittsburgh trying to change. Coffey trying to catch him in the change. Moves it in. 1:40 left to go. Power play number 6 underway now. In the corner. Batted away to the near side wall. Philadelphia able to hold it in. Brandamore down low. LeClair backhand. Chance off Regan's stick. Paul Coffey was down low. Blocked it. Cleared out of there by Moran.
But John LeClair could have 4 tonight. He has been in the right place at the right time, and he's had to fight his way in to get there. But Kenny Regan has been equal to the task, except for one time when he was lying beside the net in the second period with a bruised knee.
Regan played yesterday, made 34 saves in that game in Pittsburgh. He has come away with 18 saves so far in this game that's tied at 2. You see a minute left on the power play for the Flyers. A 4-minute advantage. Shot in by Terrien. They want to dump and chase it here off the dash here. Far side. Zubris has got it. On this 4-minute power play, the Flyers have yet to get a shot on goal. Back up on top. Lost again near side. Terrien will hold it in. Terrien shot. That's deflected into the corner. Big hit put on. Who else? Kasparaitis. Kasparaitis moved in. Puck underneath bodies there. Brandamore holds it in. Desjardins got Tyler Wright almost dumped on the ice. Brandamore looking into the middle, trying to find somebody. Terrien cutting Regan. Regan with a save. Kenny Regan. John Drew's trying to deflect it in. Terrien down low. Everybody, in fact, ended up in front of Kenny Regan.
What a war. And Darius Kasparaitis in the middle of it as usual. I think he took a stick up high, but he was whacking away at the puck when it was down between the legs of John Druce. He was sitting on his rear end, and Kasper said, I don't care what you're doing and where you're sitting. I'm just going to hack away. That is my game. Boy, he's played a game. I'll tell you what, Darius Kasparaitis will probably sleep pretty well tonight. Kasparaitis on John Druce. He just raked him into the boards. Puck came back to watch Kasparaitis whacked away at him as he was down. That hit him, or was that a little acting job? I think that might have missed. Dinah Zubris and Tyler Wright got into it after the fact. And through it all, the Pittsburgh Penguins are proving that they are, in fact, made of titanium. They're bending, but they're not breaking. I mean, they're down, what do we got, 22 seconds, and they're out of this situation.
Their penalty killers have moved from 23rd last year to 14th in the National Hockey League this year. They've got a chance to kill off 4 minutes here. Inema over. Tamer there. Tamer cleared it up. Yanni Nieminen held it in. Bounced back in behind the net. Down to 13 left on the advantage. Chris Gratton on the near side could not control. Held in. Coffey. Shot from the point. Deflected right up in the air in the slot. Gratton with a rebound. Gratton dropped it. Coffey shot. Hit the crossbar. Hit the crossbar and came out. And the penalty is over. The 4-minute advantage is gone. And a penalty coming up behind the play. So the Pittsburgh Penguins able to kill off a 4-minute advantage for Philadelphia. The game remains tied at 2.
Everyone seemed to know I had a gambling problem, but me.
I never missed a game. I always had too much money at stake.
My life revolved around gambling. I was never there for my family.
I became so good at lying about my losses. I was even fooling myself.
Family arguments were always about money. The money I was losing.
These people got help. You can too.
It's finally here, the Hamilton Used Car Superstore.
Come on in. Our used car superstore is so unique, you'll never buy a used vehicle the same way again.
Shop in the warm comfort of the Used Car Superstore's new indoor lot for super buys like this. A 97 Pontiac Grand Am, $99.83. A 97 Chevy Blazer, $19,580.
You just can't go wrong.
Nobody makes better deals and gives you more value than the Hamilton Used Car Superstore.
Let the good deals roll.
Pumping up the volume here in Philadelphia, trying to get it revved up. Last play off Chris Tamer, number 2, and bing, off the post from our U.S. Army goal cam. Kenny Reagan never saw it go by him. Look, he's still looking out front. Then he looked to the left. John LeClaire crossed in front. Trent Platt was taking a beating. Trenches. Wars in the trenches tonight.
And another penalty on Pittsburgh. Tamer for cross-checking at 11:49. This is the 7th power play for the Flyers. They've got a chance to have almost 6 consecutive minutes of power play time. They had 1 shot on the 4-minute advantage. Nieminen missed it wide. LeClaire had a block. Oh, my! John LeClaire at an empty net. Kevin Hatcher skated in and may have gotten a piece of that.
And if he didn't, it was Kenny Reagan, because his paddle, the big paddle, came crashing down right in front of LeClaire's shot.
LeClaire couldn't believe it. Kasparaitis cleared it around and out of the zone. Another power play for Philadelphia. 1 for 6 so far. Down to 7:23 left to go here in the 3rd period of this 2-2 game. Paul Coffey on this power play intercepted Barnes. Desjardins gets it back for the Flyers to Chris Gratton. Gratton wide side on the aerial pass. Kasparaitis. Taken to the boards by Zubas. Yager moves in. They hit on Platt. Yager, Platt, puck freed up. Yager banged it. Platt got it. Platt trying to go back on top. Barnes there to block and brought out of the zone. Down, short-handed. Brendamore, Yager, short-handed. The move once, twice, can't get by Terrien. Terrien makes him pay. Yager dumped it back in behind the net. 33 left on this power play for Philadelphia. Brendamore got it ahead in the middle of Forbes. Forbes dropped it. Cracked a shot. Blocked. Ian Moran went down. Gave up the body for the team. Back on top. Terrien shot. Blocked again out deep. A lot of pushing and shoving in the slot. Cleared up and out of there. Wilkinson cleared the zone. Back at the other end, Hextall. Ian Moran moved in on him. Left to Desjardins. 10 left on the Philadelphia power play to Coffey. Coffey moving it up. Pittsburgh bench up and cheering. Their penalty killing unit on. Coffey, a big collision near side Wilkinson. John Drews in the corner for Philadelphia. Drews cleared it. Not out of the zone. Brendamore held it in. Brendamore behind the net. 5 on 5 now. They've killed it off. Wilkinson picks it up, flips it out. So Philadelphia, virtually 6 minutes of power play time. They could not score and had a total of 2 shots on those power plays. 3 of them.
Can't win that way. When it's on the table and it's presented to you and you can't take advantage of it, that tells you you're just not functioning right as a team, and the Flyers aren't.
Head and shoulders storyline. Penguins killing 6 of the Flyers' power plays. Leclerc, first goal in the last 6 games. Lindros out with the concussion suffered yesterday.
Our head and shoulders replay. The Flyers' best chance to score a goal in the power play. John Leclerc. It was in fact blocked by Kevin Hatcher, number 4 for the Penguins, before it ever got to Kenny Reggett's stick. And by the trajectory, the looks of it, it would have gone over Kenny Reggett's stick if Big Kev hadn't gotten in the way.
2 chest chances, one off a post and one off a defenseman's stick.
Yep. But, you know, you can say what you want about off the post and this chance they got. 2 shots in 6 minutes of power play time. You almost don't deserve one. You'll take one. You don't deserve one.
Especially when you have that double minor they couldn't convert. Shots are even at 22 apiece. 5:49 left to go here in the 3rd period. Barnes and Brendamore in the face-off. Brendamore won it back to Forbes. Forbes moves it in. Forbes trying to shoot it. Can't. Francis tipped it up. Yager, who's been covered well in this game, he has not been able to find a hole to get a real good scoring chance off here. A couple of times he's created his own opportunities. As we said, this is where the likes of Jaromir Jagr can really do damage late in a game that's close. Tipped away by Barnes. He can't control it in the corner. Platt, Barnes. Platt behind the net. Platt rolling back over to the far side. Brendamore down low. There's Kasparaitis on Brendamore. In the middle for Platt. Goes through. Desjardins' shot was deflected deep to Jagr. Jagr starts it up. Jagr's got Barnes in the middle. Jagr, Barnes the trailer. Jagr turns. Barnes the pick. Jagr to Barnes. Barnes kicked it off the skate. Francis back for Barnes. Deflected Desjardins. Jagr and Desjardins. Jagr moved it around him. What a move. Jaromir Jagr taken down by Platt. Got some help from Leclerc. Not out of the zone. Olsen shot. Deflected. Jagr looking to center. Dropped it off. Desjardins was there. Eric Desjardins starts it up. This has been a going concern game right from the beginning. Zubers dumped it in and got dumped. And both teams want to change it up here. The puck was brought in offside in any event. 4:39 left, 3rd period. National Hockey Night 2-2.
Today, we have more computing power than the entire industry had when we designed the first Dodge Intrepid. We have the power to digitally blueprint, assemble, and test a car, to make sure things fit right and work well, to make a quieter, roomier, quicker car. We have the power to change. The new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again. As shown, less than 25.4. Well equipped, around 20.
What's the matter, clown boy? You need to make a call, but you don't have the change. Cheer up, Spunky, there's a way. Just use 1-800-COLLECT. It's 10 cents a minute every evening. Saves a bundle of cash, you can talk longer, too. Go ahead, make some calls. That's great. Mimes. 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening.
Linda Cohn in the studio with your 1-800-COLLECT. Great save of the night. It takes us to Dallas Stars against Phoenix. Pat Verbeek, look at him go on the breakaway. Nikolai Khabibulin will be up to the task in a game tied at 1. Roenick and Madonna, the goal scorers. Gentlemen.
Linda, thanks very much. And here we're tied at 2-2 with 4:39 left to go in the 3rd period. Chris Gratton on the face-off against Tyler Wright out at center ice. And on the draw, Gratton got it back. Paul Coffey will chase down in his own end. Even at 2-2. Shots even at 22-22. And a heck of a hockey game played here tonight in Philadelphia. Philadelphia at home, 16-8-4, 8th best in the National Hockey League. Trying to get a home win in. Their first 6 in a row at home. Gratton the shot. Saved by Reggett. Knocked away. Leclerc was cutting in. Martin Strakos picked up a goal in this game on the far side. No scoring here in this period as Sillinger and Leclerc have the goals for Philadelphia. Now Varenka and Straka pick up the goals for Pittsburgh. Flyers in their own end. Enema cleared it out on the far side. Tyler Wright moves over. Hit put on as Ian Moran was battling with Zubas. Picked back up by Yuri Slager. Both teams over the boards on the change here. Back-to-back games now late in the game. Both teams trying to get quick line changes here at the 3:45 mark left in the 3rd.
And they shorten their benches. Anybody that's not a decent defensive player is going to get to play. We haven't seen Alexander Degg forever.
2-on-2 situation. Brendamore back. Name another shot. That's deflected to the near side. Went off the D and deep. Cleared up, not out. Leclerc held in, rather, dumped in on Reggett. He'll knock it down. Alexander Daig, who just came out when he knocked that down to hold it in. 3:25 left. Great hockey action coming your way on the Deuce tomorrow night, 7:30. The Battle of the Hudson, the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers, Madison Square Garden, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific tomorrow. Then on Tuesday, we'll follow the Devils here to Philadelphia, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific again Tuesday. The Devils take on the Flyers. Deuce games tomorrow and Tuesday.
And if TSN, the Canadian Sports Network's sources, are correct, Wayne Cashman will not be behind the bench Tuesday night. If they are incorrect, they'd better check their sources and apologize to Wayne Cashman, because Bobby Clark has already denied the report that has said that Roger Nielsen will replace Wayne Cashman tomorrow.
And we repeat, there was an added report out of St. Louis that Nielsen was no longer with the St. Louis Blues tonight. They're back in behind the net to Hatcher. 3:19 left to go in the third period. Jaromir Jagr got it out through center. Terry and Barnes. Barnes got it away. Barnes heads to the middle. Francis moving it in. Jagr just had it bounce over his stick. Held in. Great play. Down low. Francis to Jagr. Jagr to Barnes. But deflected behind the net. Banged off the back of the net. Francis out in front for Jagr. Blocked again by Terry. Terry clears it around the boards. Top scoring line out there for Pittsburgh. Holding it in. Jagr again off Sillinger. Jagr again. In the middle, Francis. Francis holding. Shot. That one went wide. Desjardins partially blocked that one. Forbes clears it around. Jagr's there again. Jagr to the point. Hatcher the shot. Save made. Hextall. Jagr again. Jaromir Jagr back behind the net. Barnes in front on the pass from Francis. Deflected away. Philadelphia needed a clear. They can't get it. Long time on the ice for all of these skaters now. Long shift. Francis turning it into Jagr. Francis got knocked down, and it's cleared out by Philadelphia.
What a shift. Man on man. Great pursuit. I mean, Jaromir Jagr's needle on the gas tank, is it ever on empty? And what does it take? He still looks as fresh as he did in the first period.
He did just cruise over to the bench. Slager cleared that one up. A long, hard shift.
Okay, so he has to rest occasionally.
So we know he's human. Back in behind the net, Slager down to 1:58 left to go in regulation. Batted away. Held in. Good work. Down low by Gratton. Zubris. They hit. Zubris spun around by Slager. Helmet comes off. Chris Gratton with a puck. Cleared back up into the zone. Centering pass deflected. Zubris still going at it with Slager. No whistle here, though. Pittsburgh's got a chance for a 3-on-2 in the breakup. Morozov trying to clear it in. Got stood up. Niinema. Morozov goes down. Niinema in his own end. 1:30 remaining here. Game tied at 2. We're in the third period. Both teams changing up on the fly. Helmet on the ice. Puck goes around it. Brad Warenko on the touch-up. It'll be an icing call.
What a battle Dinas Zubris just had with Yuri Slager. Two strong guys. Dinas Zubris still 19 years old. During this exchange, you know who's cheering like crazy? All the teenage girls in Philadelphia watching the game, because they got to see their heartthrob Dinas without his helmet on.
Slager could have had any part of it. It would have been without his head on there. There you see the game winners we were talking about over the last 4 years. Nobody scored more game-winning goals than Jaromir Jagr, and John LeClair of the Flyers right behind him. Key players, big-time money players.
Well, there's no wonder John LeClair is checking his gear and his equipment. My gracious, the way he's played tonight and the battles that have gone on in front of Kenny Regan in the trenches. I mean, this has been classic hockey. I'll tell you what, once we got down to playing hockey, it has been playoff-like intensity, great goaltending, but everything you want.
Back-to-back games have a way of turning into that as the rivalry from one night usually carries over to the other, exemplified in this back-to-back situation with Eric Lindros suffering that concussion in the game yesterday in Pittsburgh. 1 minute to go. Backhand centering pass to Sean Podine, deflected. Daig had the chance to get that through and tried. Good play defensively. Blocked in front. No, Podine scores! Sean Podine!
45 seconds to go, and the Flyers have taken the lead. Well, I mentioned Alexander Daig wasn't playing because he wasn't good defensively. As soon as I said that, he came out and made a good pass. He earned another shift. with that good pass. And man, did he make a play here. Watch number 19 for the Flyers wheel around to Sean Podine. And Robert Lang could not stop it. Podine had to jump over his stick. He had to follow it face first with his nose right up against it and jam it into the net. Yes, he was in the crease, but he followed the puck into the crease. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to follow your own shot into the crease, and he did it.
And the Philadelphia bench watching that puck trickle, and then in. What an effort by Sean Podine. And a 3-2 lead for the Flyers with 45 seconds left to go. Podine's got a chance for the game-winning goal here tonight.
Doesn't get many big ones, but man, was that huge.
Daigle and Brind'Amour get the assist, Podine's 8th of the year at 19-14 against Kenny Reggett. Not done yet. Now, of course, if Pittsburgh can get control of the puck, they will pull Kenny Reggett out of there and get the extra skater on the ice. For the Flyers, it'll be a long 45 seconds. Face off one, Barnes to Yager. Jaromir Jagr skating back in his own end. You're looking at the time remaining in regulation. Kenny Reggett heading off the ice. Near side, empty net, shot. That'll be wide by Brind'Amour. Reggett came back out, tried to play it. Couldn't, but he's still on the ice. Jaromir Jagr drops it. Reggett heads to the bench again. Ronnie Francis sends it in. Kevin Hatcher far side. Extra skaters up. Ronnie Francis center. Jagr! What a shot! He scores! Jaromir Jagr! With the extra skater, Jagr ties it with 14 seconds left. We told you, one of the great assist men of all time sets it up.
And Gary, you said that Jaromir Jagr gets more dangerous as the game gets closer and closer and longer. And Sean Podine and the Flyers must now be in shock, especially because Rod Brind'Amour, when Kenny Reggett was going to the net, had a chance to get an empty netter. And Kenny Reggett turned around and had to back check to come back. And then Ronnie Francis, smart play. He knew what to do with the dump in because he had Hatcher going on the other side. And then when Hatcher put it around, all Ronnie Francis did was go against the boards with his stick like a wedge and let it deflect off the backhand side of his stick right out to Jaromir Jagr. Salute, salute, salute.
This game is tied. 14 seconds left. Both goaltenders obviously back in net. The 29th goal of the year for Jaromir Jagr, his second point of the game. 8 seconds left in regulation. Sent back in for the Pittsburgh Penguins. This game is going to overtime. Incredibly, 2 goals are scored in the final 45 seconds of regulation play. The Flyers 26 shots, the Penguins 24. Jaromir Jagr, after Sean Podine had given Philadelphia the lead. Podine at 19-14 from Daigle and Brind'Amour. 19-45, Jagr's 29 from Hatcher and Ronnie Francis. It is a grand way for you to see game 1000 on ESPN and the Deuce, and we are not done yet.
Chalk 1 on the black line. Perfect line.
This is for Coach Brannigan, who kept me in that game, and for all the kids who voted for me, for my family, who said there isn't anything I can't do. For myself, who believes it.
We think NBA Shootout 98 is the closest thing to actually playing in the NBA. And to prove it, we hooked up with Vin Baker.
Oh, dog, I'll buy 2, baby.
Oh, but you got somebody on your tail, don't you? Oh, look at me, it's still me.
Pressure's on, Big Daddy.
From 3-point downtown, and it's good! Yeah! I beat Vin Baker! Bow to the king!
Really like the game.
PlayStation.
A tremendous hockey game, and we're going to go into sudden death overtime, tied at 3-3 as the teams take their break and then head into the 5-minute OT.
Well, we thought this game had ended because of a couple of good plays by Alexander Degg. Watch this great pass. He got to the puck first, spun around, passed it back to Rod Brindamore, who faked a shot to get his man down. See Kasparaitis going down? Then they waited and waited. Now, this ended up turning out to be kind of a 2-on-2 situation in front. By the time we get to here, Podine was there. Now, we'll stop right here for a second. There's no way Robert Long thought that Daigle could ever get the puck through to Podine, so he didn't turn around and take Podine. He tried to stop the puck. Almost a fatal mistake, but remember, this is the team that bends without breaking. They got it back on this one, the Penguins did. Watch Ron Francis. He just redirects the puck because it's kind of a set play. He knows if he goes in, Jaromir Jagr is following in the jet stream, as he does so often. Nobody picked him up. That looked easy.
Wow. We go to overtime. Tremendous game. Pittsburgh 3-1-14 in overtime games this year. Hatcher, Rob Brown, and Jaromir Jagr have had the overtime game-winning goals. The Flyers 1-1-9. Lindros, the only overtime game-winning goal they've had came against San Jose. Also would remind you, this Pittsburgh team is #1 in the National Hockey League in games won by 1 goal. They are #1, the best percentage. They are 10-3 in 1-goal games. Philadelphia 9-9. Here we go. We're in overtime. Kenny Regan cleared it up the near side, not out. Brindamore held it in. You put one in the net, you win. Behind the net, Hatcher. Block. Pittsburgh sweeps up, not out. Desjardins wrists it through a screen, block made. Right off the blocker of Kenny Regan that time. Podine, Barnes kicked it away, and it's cleared out of the zone.
Gary, interesting line to start for Pittsburgh. In Yager's place was the rookie Alexei Morozov with that line with Ronnie Francis, Stu Barnes. Let's see when Yager comes back. Now, here he is down a different line.
Brindamore had that one blocked away, held in the zone. Tamer back to get it. Zubris on him, but he kicked it behind the net. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia changing up ice here, allows the Pens out. There's Jagr. Jagr draws it back. Jagr in. Jagr trying to use the D, taken out of the play, knocked down by Terrien. Good play by Terrien, played the man, not the puck. Grattan over the red, sends it in. Behind the net, Reggett watches, lets it go to Slager. There is Slager, collision, Zubris got knocked down. Pens still control though. There's Jagr. Jagr dropped it off in the middle of Tamer. Tamer moving up, Straka the trailer. Cleared into the wide side. Both teams change up right here. Terrien back to get him. We're in OT here in Philadelphia. Blocked in the zone. Jagr tries to send it in towards the net as he was headed to the bench. Terrien sends it around for Desjardins. Desjardins up. Pittsburgh trying to sweep this back-to-back series this weekend against Philadelphia. Robert Lang leaves it, gets it back. Lang moves in. 3 Flyers with him. Again, Lang. Niederman letting go. Tried to roll it in. Hextall batted it away. Came down in the slot. Larenka moved up, couldn't get it. Sillinger moved it out through center. Then his pass far side. Ooh, big collision over there. Kasparaitis just missed that hit. Came back and intercepts. Kasparaitis, after taking that shot over there, got back in the play and intercepted. Ian Moran sends it up.
And the guy with the puck right now, Alexander Degg, was the guy that collided with Kasparaitis.
Degg getting all kinds of playing time in the closing moments and in OT after he earned it with a couple of good shifts. Brindamore in his own end. 2:50 to go in the overtime. Back out through center. Both teams get line changes completed. Brindamore, Podine in front. Brindamore saved Reggett. Rebound loose. Batted away to the near side. Jagr's got it. Jagr will start it up on the near side and through center. Francis. Ronnie Francis sends it in. Hextall directing traffic. Desjardins around. Barnes intercepts for Jagr. Jagr lost it. Brindamore there. Brindamore and Jagr do battle. Barnes got it. Barnes shipped it back in. Hextall just holds it up behind the net. Pittsburgh again changing up as they Flyers bring it up ice. Brindamore in a long shift will dump and head to the bench. Reggett back there. Reggett plays it off the backhand for Hatcher. Hatcher got knocked down, lost control. Zubris held it in. Leclaire turns back near side. Leclaire looking to center. Grattan was there, but it bounced away. Niederman off ice to help. Zubris back. Leclaire in front. Leclaire, not quite. Leclaire did battle, couldn't get it. Down up from the top. Shot deflected. Right off the side of the net. Rebound, wristed wide by Zubris. Comes back to Terrien. Shot in the slot, never got in on net. Minute 45 to go. Pittsburgh wants to clear an ice.
Well, I will tell you, there are not many overtime periods during the regular season like this one. There is as much hitting and as much hard work and battling man-on-man in the trenches as there was in the first 5 minutes.
Sports Center coming along. The NCAA field of 64 is set. They're set to tell you about it. Bulls and Knicks highlights on the Sunday conversation. Latrell Sprewell all coming up on Sports Center.
Darius Kasparaitis has virtually owned that area just around the blue line. To the left, right about here, to his left. Now, he looked like he was going to get beat by Alexander Degg, so he went to get a piece of him. They both went down. And then the action in front, always somebody. That's Chris Gratton to the side, pounding away at it. Kenny Reggett's pad was perfect. Everybody's going, oh, dang, oh. That close.
1:39 left in the OT. Brendamore in the faceoff against Barnes, who won it. Up to the near side and just swung out of the zone by Brown. Alexander Degg back out there on the ice. Pass to Degg in the middle, intercepted. Brought back in, Robert Lang left. Looking down low. Brown trying to get it to Lang. And at the side of the net off Hextall's stick. Picked up by Brown again. Lang, Coffey's on him. Lang in the corner. Lang looking. Lang center and shot. Tip wide off Hextall's stick by Barnes. By Ian Moran, rather. Moran sends it back out into the middle. Pittsburgh putting the heat on here in overtime. Robert Lang dropped it off, intercepted by Brendamore. Brendamore, 1 minute left to go in OT. Straight down the middle. Degg. Shot. Score! Alexander Degg! Philadelphia wins 4-3.
What an incredible ending to have Alexander Degg, the man that had not scored a goal in 22 games, score his first goal as a member of the Philadelphia Flyers on a breakaway to end this thing. Robert Lang had overstick handled in the Flyer zone, and well, here we're going to see it right here. Here's Robert Lang. Now they're closing in on him. You got to get rid of it. He did not get rid of it, and Degg was part of the turnover team. Great speed, split the D. Oh yeah. Alexander Degg's best asset is his speed, and he got really revved up and went at it, and Kenny Reggett didn't look like he wanted to let him up without ripping his head off. Wayne Cashman, oh yeah, baby.
Will that save his job? Was it in jeopardy anyway? The rumors tonight said he would be gone tomorrow. Bob Clark, the GM, celebrates. 4:03 of the 5-minute overtime. Degg is 8th of the year. Brendamore gets the assists. It is a game winner. And the Philadelphia Flyers in overtime win it 4-3. For Bill Clement, Brian Engblom, and our crew, I'm Gary Thorne, Linda, and Barry.
Welcome back to the National Hockey Night Studios. Great game, great finish. 12 games over 500 of the Philadelphia Flyers. Wayne Cashman fired by tomorrow? Doesn't make sense, Barry.
Doesn't make sense to be a coach in today's sporting world either. The bottom line is Bobby Clark picked this guy to coach a team. He made him assistant coach in Team Canada. He's been his choice from day one in this season. It'll be shocking if Wayne Cashman's fired. If he's fired, it's got to be something more than what's happening on the ice.
And there'll be much more on this story and many, many other stories on Sports Center coming up at 11 Eastern. A Sports Center that includes a Sunday conversation with Latrell Sprewell you just don't want to miss. Stay tuned.
A fuel inject
people felt was the most competitive of the 8 matchups. We are going into overtime. We talked at the beginning of the third period that Jágr and his line mates haven't done a lot, but it turns out to be the big line that sends this game into overtime.
They only needed one chance, I guess, and with great players like that, you know something good is going to happen. Jaromir Jágr makes the play. After they'll win the faceoff, Jágr will be on the right side. He'll stop, spin around. Now, Slager's really aggressive coming into the point because they're down a goal. He gets a stick on it, apparently, because he's credited for the goal, but really, it's Stu Barnes' right foot that the puck actually goes off. Here it is. Watch it real slow. The puck will come in. There's Barnes' foot. And even if you say, well, maybe he was in the crease, I don't think he was, but he was being pushed by Corson anyway. So there was no review. It was a goal, and it's 2-2. There are the stats through 3 periods. And boy, we got a hockey game on our hands now, and I think the fans will be a little more jacked up in this overhand than they have so far in this game.
Well, the Penguins have come back in the scoring chances department, and they've come back on the scoreboard as well as they celebrate the tying goal. Overtime is straight ahead.
A lot of what I know is genetic, like always wear a cup. Never accept a blind date.
Hey, Ma! Your date's here!
and never, ever play with fire. Unless you're a god. Like me. Unlike the guy next door, I control the heat. I patrol the meat. When I flip the deep and fly the birds, the men step back. Whoa. And the ladies step up.
Nice shish kebab.
They know I've got boobs. They know the difference between a griller and a grill master. Wow. Ooh.
Grill Master with flame control for sure starts, even heat, and less flare-ups. Call for information on our 98 lineup. Grill Master. You can't be one without one.
This weekend, enough racing to make your head spin. Here's what's up ahead this weekend on ESPN2.
We are back in Pittsburgh getting ready for overtime. I don't want to say the first overtime period. We've certainly had a history of long overtime playoff games here on ESPN and the Deuce. As you look at the overtime records from the regular season, Yuri Slager, so far the guy that's been credited with the goal. We haven't found out yet if it was officially changed. And right now it is still Slager from Yager and Barnes on the sheet that I've been handed. Three of seven lower seeds, have won the first game of the series. And what's interesting, when you look at the comparison of some of the other matchups, now this is a 2 versus a 7 seed, but there doesn't seem to be the expectancy of the number 2 seed, in this case Pittsburgh, to automatically win this series.
No, that's true.
You have Dallas with a lot of pressure to win. You have Colorado with a lot of pressure to win. You have Detroit with pressure to win. You have Philadelphia, even though a lot of people look at Hasek because of what happened to Philadelphia last year. They make the deal for the goaltender. A lot of pressure there. This is a very even matchup. I mean, Barry Melrose, I think the other night on the hour-long edition of NHL Tonight, was the one that said that this might be the hardest one to call, maybe the most competitive and most exciting series of the 8th in the first round.
Yeah, it's true. And Montreal's done a heck of a job on the road, which they have all year long. Igor Ulanov, who's seen a lot of time against Yager, and we expected that. But what we have been extremely surprised about, at least I have been, has been the play of Zarli Zalapski going nose-to-nose against Yager as a third defenseman. Again, 8 defensemen dressed by the Montreal Canadiens. And Dave King, the assistant coach of the Montreal Canadiens, is a guy who used to use that tactic when he coached back in Calgary. So we suspect that that's probably where the tactic originated from. And they closed practices before coming into this game 1. And this is maybe one of the wrinkles that they wanted to keep under their hat as long as they could. And it has worked extremely well, except until that tying goal. But Yager, I mean, he made something out of nothing. That really wasn't a great scoring chance.
4 skaters aside to start the overtime. Still 43 seconds remaining on the coincidental minors. To Brunet of the Canadiens and Brown of Pittsburgh. Here is Yager taking it in deep. Yager wheels it toward the net, deflected by Francis, and ends up high off the glass, still in play. Now Rosinski getting some help. Francis and Yager are there. Now it comes to Malakoff. He goes to Don Foos. Cross-ice pass, bouncing puck. Yager holds it in. Gloved down by Malakoff. He controls for the Canadiens. Now to Don Foos. Rink wide pass up the left side. Here is Ulanov with a chance. Left pass save made by Barrasso.
That was a cannon. Malakoff can really shoot the puck. When he comes down with a little bit of speed, he wired that one right along the ice. No such thing as a bad shot in overtime.
Coincidental minors have expired. Now we're 5-on-5, and here comes Mark Recchi on the attack. Snaps the shot, hit the side of the net to the left of Barrasso. Recchi follows up, has it again. Sends it out toward the point. Manson has it. Another one that can shoot it. Dumps it toward the goal. It's in the glove of Barrasso. He'll hold it there.
Speaking of Dave Manson, he's had a heck of a season here in Montreal this year. In the past, his statistics have not always been tremendous, especially when it comes to plus-minus and things like that. But he was well over +20 this year, +22. And that's a good stat for him. He's a solid guy. He came into the league as a real tough guy. He's backed off on that. 0 fighting majors for Dave Manson this year. He is stuck to hockey. He has cut down the turnovers that he's sometimes been guilty of inside his own zone. Has played really solid for them back on the blue line.
Yeah, I think we had a stat a couple of weeks ago when we had the Canadians on National Hockey Night. He was something like -74, -78 over the previous 3 seasons coming in here. So a dramatic turnaround.
Yeah, well, that's a factor of the teams he was on, certainly.
Absolutely,
too.
yeah.
But he has really, really cleaned up his own game.
Here is Shane Corson sending it deep into the Pittsburgh zone. Hamer and Corson come together. Hamer able to work it to Yuri Slager. Now it's slapped away toward the net. Kicked aside by Barrasso. And he kicked it right out to Slager up the left side. Looking for Straka. Good defensive read there by Brisebois. Took it away. Lights it back the other way. Benoit Broudet. And into Robert Lang, and now Lang takes over. Lang, Straka, and Morozov, who takes the lead pass. Morozov, top to back. Straka works his way into the backhand, and he moved the save. And the net is knocked off by a Montreal player. And what have we got? A penalty shot being indicated by Rob Schick.
Wow. Wow, I cannot believe
a penalty shot
to this call. Patrice Brisebois, I think, is in shock night right now. Brisebois was victimized by Straka coming in late because Andy Moog had made the save. The puck was already stopped. Brisebois will come in afterwards and sort of out of frustration will knock the net off its moorings. But when you're in overtime, if you intentionally knock the net off, it is a penalty shot. Brisebois made 2 mistakes. The second one is much bigger. This one. But his momentum really carried him into the net. That's what he's going to be upset about. But what a brilliant play by Morozov to leave that one for Straka. Straka strung it out. Andy Moog was terrific. And Patrice Brisebois knocked the net off the moorings. Wow. Penalty shot, overtime.
Well, there have been 32 penalty shots taken all time in Stanley Cup playoff competition. Only 11 times has the goaltender been beaten. Everybody here at the Civic Arena is on their feet. Martin Straka, who had the chance, is going to take the penalty shot against Andy Moog.
Just a little bit of pressure maybe for Marty Straka. He's getting some encouragement from the guys over at the bench. Oh, Morozov, excuse me. It's Morozov. Morozov is going to take the penalty shot. Now I think there's an argument. There's an argument. Dave Manson's coming out to talk to Rob Schick, shaking his head right away and waving his arms. Hey, what is this guy doing taking it? They're probably thinking, hey, Straka's the guy who had the puck last. Why doesn't he do it? But Pittsburgh gets to choose who they want, and it's Morozov. Look at Brisebois. Brisebois is explaining.
Here comes Morozov. In on Andy Moog. Oh, and he hit the goal post. He hit the goal post to the left of Andy Moog. And overtime will continue.
The goaltender's best friend. But Andy Moog did a great job.